Hello, everyone. Very good morning and good evening, all. Hope you are all doing good, team. Right? It's a long time I'm meeting a couple of our team members. Right. So, by the way, this is Irfan. Um, I'm known to most of you guys, but since a couple of other team members or other aspirants also have joined this particular session, I may not know about me. So, by the way, I am Irfan, who is going to engage this AI workshop today. Right, we are going to engage our year 2026 AI workshop for data engineering. Especially, our concentration is going to be in the data engineering front, how we are going to apply the AI solutioning, right? Where this workshop is going to be a very much fun-filled one. Like we are going to have lot of insights as a takeaway by the end of today. Definitely, you are going to get that achieved. Um, by the way, I'm Irfan. I'm working as a principal architect in one of the IT company, a senior most position, where I'm into this technology, where I'm into this IT for almost 23 years now. I'm getting into my 23 years of experience. And I mostly worked in the data world from the starting stage onwards, right? In the initial 10 plus years, I was working in the core data, like ETL or data warehouse and the database development. And subsequently, I moved towards the data engineering, right? And in a past almost 5 to 6 years of the time period, I'm working in the side of the AI and the ML side also, right, along with the data engineering. Since I'm playing a role of a kind of an architect role, I can't, like escape out of any of this technology stack. So I'm very much aspirant, or I'm very much inspiration towards, or having a very much inspiration towards, or I'm very much enthusiastic towards the data basically. So because of the reason, I could able to present this kind of the evolution of data solutions and all for all of you. Okay, we are going to have that today witness. Okay, again welcoming you all to our year 2026 AI based data engineering workshop. Right. Let me go into the agenda team. Okay. I hope both side of the team is able to hear me, right? In the Zoom side and in the Google Meet side also. Okay, great. So Google Meet also you are able to hear me, right? Clearly, I'm loud and clear, right? In Google Meet side also. Okay, great. Um, great, Prasanna. Thank you, thanks for that. Great. So let's move forward. Definitely, I'm going to say if you guys spend 2 3 hours of your time today, you are going to witness definitely a um, uh, like a next generation tech stacks, next generation or a futuristic tech stack. You are going to leverage, which is going to be married with data engineering, which is not built by most of the people, most of the organization. Even I would say, you are going to realize that soon. Okay, let us go and perform this understanding by following this agenda time. Okay, so we are already 5 minutes delayed in terms of starting our session. I was waiting for a couple of team members to join. However, I'm going to give you a kind of a brief introduction about myself. I have given already. I'm going to set a goal and an agenda for this meeting, what we are going to have today. I wanted to, first of all, take a quick opportunity of time for about 40 minutes of time, right? To make you guys understand about the jargons of AI, but maybe in a bit different fashion, not by just going with some PPT, some sort of presentations and all. I wanted to show you guys some sort of prototypes. I want to bring you all up to speed in AI, the terminologies of AI. For example, if I ask somebody like, what is the difference between machine learning, deep learning, or artificial intelligence, or generative AI, right, or LLMs, right? Like this, if I ask, all look similar, but they are all bit different. First, we have to break the dice off. What are all these jargons and all in the AI world, right? All look similar. Almost they are having interrelation. If you see here, right, I have mentioned ML, DL, LLMs, Gen AI, prompt engineering, agentic AI, multi-agents, like this and all, whatever the name that I use here, all look similar, but they have a big difference between them. First, you have to break the differences by going with some prototypes what we have built. We put a lot of time and effort on building, particularly for this workshop. And we wanted to share this also to our team to get this socialized, get this democratized. For that reason, we build our own prototypes basically. So let me go and show you guys the prototype. Give me a minute. I think like this. Um, 1 second. Then something went wrong in the Google Meet. Okay, let me just reshare. Okay, I hope you are able to hear and see me, right? The team from Google Meet. Okay, let me continue. Okay, we are going to definitely witness see with the given 3 hours of time, we can't able to learn the things completely, but we can get some foundational understanding of what is AI, right? And we can become up to speed on the AI, not by just going in a vague theoretical aspect. I wanted to show you the model of the way, like how we can go and use this way of learning, the model of learning, the model of teaching, if we follow, what is the benefit that we are going to get? I wanted to show that as well as a witnessing activity over here. So what we are going to do is we are going to see some prototypes what we built, some interactive gamified learning what we built. I'm going to show you guys that one as a very first activity. We are going to spend 40 minutes of the time for doing that. The second one, what we are going to do is we are going to spend almost 30 minutes of time for two major projects. Okay, one is a kind of a minimal project which requires some sort of like I'm going to give some code walkthrough to give you an understanding of. You may have a lot of confusion on hey, what is agent, what is an agentic, what is a RAG, what is an LLM, what is how we can interact or use the cloud platform to generate agents. Right, this is a buzzword in this market currently. We are going to break that buzzword by seeing a project. We are going to understand a project like how it can go and perform multi-tooling activity, how it is going to use, how a computer is going to use its hands and legs and eyes and mouth for performing some activity. This is the second part of our learning. We are going to do by walking over in a project. Very interesting part we are going to see. The third part, that means this fourth item, what I'm telling about, right? The project number 2 is a milestone project. We are going to definitely we never expect this project which is not even implemented in the organization yet. So even in my organization, if you consider, we are in a talking state about like why not we can do something like this. So I build a prototype for this. I build a project prototype for this, where I did not bring every features in this project, but at least I brought the features whichever is needed for the current data engineering world. In the current data engineering world, we have a lot of challenges, right? Some of the challenges like data quality, analyzing the problem, root cause analysis, or we have a challenge in terms of like data governance, data security. These are all some of the major problems what every organization face in terms of the data engineering world. So we are going to mitigate that by implementing the complete AI solutioning in it, right? That is the fourth activity what we are going to do, right? Our third activity. The fifth activity what we are going to perform is we are going to spend almost 15 minutes of our time. I wanted to maybe like I know not only our current batch people are attending, our old batch people are also attending this session, right? I'm going to bring some interesting tools, the gamified and the kind of career building tools that Inceptus have built. We wanted to share this access to our the alumni of Inceptus as well. So I'm going to walk through with couple of very much interesting tools that will help you elevate and experience for your better learning and for your better elevation of the career also. It is going to help you a lot. So I'm going to introduce about the tool. You are going to get a kind of a mesmerized understanding of it. Then we are going to have one more project which is our client project. We are doing this for one of the client. I just taken some data, added something like
சும்மா ஒரு இது ஏஐ கிளாஸ் ஒன்று சரி சொல்லு
somebody is not muted in the
ஆ
okay.
Continue.
Jayanath Veerananda, let me mute you. Shankar, I'm muting you. Okay, fine. So like we are going to discuss about. I'm going to show you guys one of the project that we are doing for one of our client where the real purpose of our data center is needed. This is for our client. We are doing a project where the client is not ready to go into the cloud platform. How we are using our own data center, I'm going to show you guys that in one of the project that we are going to execute. Okay. Apart from that, we are going to enter into our private cloud data center that Inceptors have formed. We have our own private cloud data center formed and we are running services inside it. We are providing solutions using the data center. That walkthrough I'm going to have here, virtual walkthrough, a physical and a virtual walkthrough, both I'm going to give along with one of my team member called John. He will be explaining about how we have formed our data center. And apart from that, we are going to have some open panel discussion with a lot of open questions that generally what people have. Myself and John is going to have some interactive discussion on that. After that, I'm going to address your question if you guys have any. Right, you may have a lot of questions in our current AI world, right? I'm going to be open for addressing any of the questions as how it is. Okay, I'm going to address all your questions. So this is the plan for our today's workshop. You guys are attending this workshop for 3 hours, but to get the content prepared for this workshop, especially the project 1, project 2 and all, we spend a lot of time and effort. The content for even this up to speed, which I am going to discuss for 40 minutes, right? At least we spend days of time, weeks of time. Okay, so concentrate on this. Try to get some outcome out of this. Especially try to break the ice of AI, right? By understanding this, because you have to know about like what is this terminologies minimum. Then only you can able to think about how I can adapt AI. This is a kind of an ice breaking session which will go and help you understand about, oh, I was thinking something else the AI is all about. But these jargons and all have made me understand not only theoretically, by implementing it practically like this, you are going to take this 3 hours of time to leverage it. Okay. With that said, let me move forward. Okay. I'll go into the icebreaker up to speed session. Okay. So we have developed an application for showing this icebreaker session. Okay. So first of all, we have to understand what is AI is all about. Okay, so we have our own AI workshop platform created. Okay, in this you are going to understand about almost like maybe we are going to spend 30 to 40 minutes of the time to understand this entire concept. Okay, let me start our timer. That is okay, right? So let us go and understand. So what is AI is all about this? AI means what? In general, what we say, it's an artificial intelligence, right? We are trying to mimic the human intelligence with the help of the computers and the digital systems, right? Where it has to have the same human kind of intelligence put forth. The only thing what we can't achieve with the help of AI is the sixth sense. But apart from that, it has to have a kind of most of the organs, whatever our human body has to be built in it. Like for example, it needs to have the understanding of the speech. It needs to hear the speech. So like an ear, the AI need to have a system built. That we call it as what? Some concept called the model. We used to call it as that model is an audio model. Or concept of how the audio model can be understood by the AI, we have to call it in the name called natural language understanding, natural language processing, or language model we used to call it as. If we are going to speak with the AI in different languages, it has to understand the different languages. We call it as a language model. In general, model means what? A brain. With your human body only, we are going to relate soon. Artificial intelligence is more mimicking of a human being. The intelligence of the human being we have to mimic. We have to mimic the decision making of the human being. We have to mimic the activity what the human being is doing. If we know how to build a system that can do all these activities, either you build from scratch or you use an existing one, then it is all about AI. Basically, what we say, AI means what? Artificial intelligence, that we are very clear. We say with the help of AI, we can able to generate things. That's why, that's the reason, that's the way like how the AI came into a next stage actually. Once the generative AI is implemented, once the generative AI is brought to the market, in the past 5-6 years period of time, we were able to use this AI like a mobile phone. In our mobile phone, we are using AI. We are using AI like our regular part and piece of the like our regular activity. So when we start use AI as a part and piece of our regular activity, right, that got propagated because of the generative feature of the AI that has been added. And AI can able to not only understand or think or learn, right? It can interact with us even by giving some response, by giving some outcome. So that is more of generative AI system, which made us to go and start use the AI more of in the market. We always say what when somebody says like AI means immediately we'll say ChatGPT. Okay, I know AI, I know how to work in AI. How you say? I go and ask some question in the ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or somewhere. It will go and respond me with some response. So I will use that response for doing some activity. Maybe it could be a code response, or it could be some document response, or it could be some audio or video or text response. I'll use that and I'll promote myself. I'll elevate myself. But that is not the real AI. That is the outcome of AI. We are just using AI like a tool in that case. But the real AI is something more than what we think in terms of ChatGPT or Gemini. That is the ice-breaking activity we are supposed to do today by using the project number 1213. What and all we can achieve out of AI. In all extreme side, I'm going to show you this. With our data center, what we can achieve. With the cloud, what we can achieve. With the multi-model, what we can achieve. With our own, vector database, what we can achieve. Connecting to different tools, what we can achieve. Right? Like this, in implementing data engineering with AI, what we can achieve. Like this, we are going to understand the outcome of AI in all the aspects. So the AI seems to be very simple, very direct. Everybody, even kids talk about something called AI. That we are aware of. But how we are going to make use of the capabilities of the computer that can think, learn, interact, react, act, it can do everything. It does not use the physical components yet. That also even in the market, it is being started coming in. But at least in our current evolution of AI, we did not implement physical AI yet. That is the next generation. If that happens means, then we could able to even see the physical activity AI is going to do. Even we have now, but not fully an AI oriented one. It's being used in a very limited fashion, right? The robotics and all I'm talking about. Okay, what is AI is all about? AI is nothing but the mimicking of or simulation or mimicking of the human intelligence by the computer machines, right? To perform the tasks normally, which requires in general the human thinking and the intelligence and the decision making. Rather than we use human to think about something and get some answer delivered via the mouth, which is nothing but our output system. The human understands what somebody is speaking, or human can understand by seeing something with the eyes, which is computer vision, right? The human can able to sense something, right? Not only by seeing or by hearing, he can able to sense something by smelling, right? The brain is sensing something. That sensibility even we can bring in the AI system via the LLM brain, the large language model brain. The models are going to play the role, right? With all these components, we can able to achieve. The AI can do the same mimicking of the decision making and the thought process of human. That is AI is all about. Okay, just what is AI is all about. It does thinking. It does the thinking with the help of machine, and it can perform task even. This is the next stage of AI. Rather than I say you just think and respond to me, you go and do this work. That is agentic. That is agentic altogether. Okay, how we are going to make AI trained? How we are going to make AI getting more intelligent? Where in the, oh sorry. Okay, sorry. Now you can able to hear me, right? Okay. So, first of all, we are understanding about what is AI foundationally. Let it be. Right on top of that, how AI is getting intelligence. How human is getting intelligence is similar way. I always talk in terms of like the human beings learning will be like this, right? Unconscious incompetency, unconscious competency, conscious incompetency, and then conscious competency. Like this and all, we have different cycles of learning by the human being. The similar way, AI is also requires the data to learn basically. How we need data to learn? How by seeing this mobile phone, I can learn about how to operate the mobile phone. Similar way, AI also need data. So we were providing or feeding the AI with data. The data will be collected primarily. How the AI will work? We will be bombarding the AI with data. The AI will want to understand the data in different perspective, either at the high level or at the very lower level. Either it will do deep learning, or either it will do a shallow learning, a supervised learning, or an unsupervised learning, or a reinforcement learning. By making mistakes, AI can learn, or by defining the rules, AI can learn, or by his own, the AI can learn without putting any rule. All the way the AI can learn. And the AI can able to, or in order to make the AI learn, we have to collect the data from somewhere. This is the data ingestion developer role. And we will be processing the data which can be understandable or which can be used by the AI directly. We don't give the data as it is, as like how we want. We have to give the data in a digital format. We have to give the data in a numerical format. What AI can feel more comfortable to manage. Embedding format, we have to give the data. So processing we have to do. Then we will be passing the data to the models, to the brain to get learned. AI has the self-learning capability, self-development capability. So we'll be passing the data to the AI for doing that self-learning. Then subsequently, with that self-learning, whatever the AI have made, or with the forceful learning, whatever AI have made, we are going to, ask AI to make some prediction, futuristic prediction, or making some decision to perform some action. The AI is going to either predict or either going to make some decision to do some activity. And this is going to happen in a continuous fashion. This is how the AI systems are being built, or AI systems are being trained, or AI systems are being evolved. So basic understanding is the data is the food for AI. Using the data only, the AI will be keep learning and continually performing the, like a recursive operation of doing the continuous learning. So what is AI? How AI is getting the feed, the food of thought, the food for thought, what we understood. The next very interesting part is, right, rather than I just speak by showing you about or by talking about some terminologies, let us go and realize how AI works. As I was mentioning, right, AI can learn from data. How AI can learn from data, right? So basically, if an AI system can learn from data, then we call it as a machine learning. If a machine knows how to learn from the data, we call it as a machine learning. If a AI knows how to predict the outcome, then we call it even as a machine learning. The machine learning model can predict the outcome. The AI can be able to perform the recognition of image and the speech. That is because of the deep learning. The AI does not only do the learning of data that we are going to provide in the form of a structural format, in the form of tables or files. We are going to give the data to AI means, then that is a legacy AI. Legacy AI is nothing but a machine learning. But with the advanced AI, the next level of AI, the deep learning has been made. The deep learning represents what? The AI is going to do some deeper level of learning with multiple stages. It is going to have multiple stages, the starting stage, middle stage, and then the end stage. Like this, it is going to have the neural network kind of, the brain kind of simulation it is going to slowly do. That is the deep learning. Then the language models has been introduced, large language model. It can understand and it can go and recognize whatever the language that you are going to provide to the AI, the text and whatever the natural language text that you are going to give to the AI, it is going to understand. All these components, right, are going to make us understand how the AI got evolved. So we are going to talk about this part next. Actually, this is the part we are going to talk about. What are all the components of AI and what are all the the evolution of AI we are going to talk about. If we see this, each and every of this evolution, initially it was a rule based, then it became a kind of a learning based, and then it becomes a deep learning based. Then it became a kind of a transformer architecture based, which paved the way for generative AI. The attention mechanism, attending all the content, whatever you are going to give to the large language model, and put a weightage for that, trying to have a relationship between the words and text that we are going to use. Like this, the transformer architecture, which made the game changer, which created a game changer, which has been introduced as a product by the Sam Altman in the name called ChatGPT, which we are all aware of. This is the breakthrough that happened in the year of 2017, which was introduced by a set of people in Google. We are going to talk in detail about this, but before going into it, AI system has all these capabilities, right? How it is being built visually, let's go and see. You are going to get mesmerized looking into this. Wait for it. Just tap for it, right? You just go and wait for looking into it. You'll get some clarity. The AI can learn from data. We call it as a machine learning. The machine is learning and improving its capability, improving its accuracy of, making some decisions, improving its accuracy of predicting something. Oh, I understood. Yesterday morning, it was a bit cold, right? Today morning also, I can expect the same. But today morning is not very cold because yesterday we had some windstorm. Today we don't have. So I will be learning based on the data. Every day morning by 9 a.m. I feel hungry, right? That is based on the data. I'm going to get understanding. If I don't give the data today morning, whether I feel hungry or not, I don't. By knowing about the last 1 month trend, I could able to understand. Oh, tomorrow morning I need some food because I feel hungry. Why we are going to prepare breakfast? Why we plan it prayer day? Because we want to prepare some food because by 9 a.m. I feel hungry. Because today morning 9 a.m. I felt hungry. Yesterday also I felt hungry. How our brain understands the same way, with the help of data, the machine will learn. How it learn? Let's go and click and see. So basically the data input will be provided based on the volume of data that you are going to keep pumping to the machine learning model, to the model in general. Model is nothing but some algorithms created, some code that has been created by applying different, statistical and algorithmic methodology. Some programs that has been created by some people by applying some mathematical, scientific, and statistical notations. There are a lot of different models are available, different machine learning models are available. I'm not going to deep into it. The reason behind machine learning is becoming slowly obsolete. But the machine that can use some algorithms to learn with the help of data and get improved with his knowledge base, right? We call it as a training of a model, and we are making the model becoming more accurate to predict, accurate to decide, accurate to make some decision. So this simple analogy shows you the data input we are going to give to our model brain. You have any algorithm that people creates in the name of like machine learning algorithm or deep learning algorithm or large language model algorithm or generative AI model algorithm or whichever the people generates that needs the brain. Brain is going to act as a core here. The brain can be a older brain or a new brain. It could be a older generation or a new generation. Old generation means it is ML where it has some restriction. New generation is like LLM, which has some like a capability, multi-model. The multi-model has more capability of understanding images, text, video, audio, everything, not only text. LLM has a limitation. It will say, only I understood language. I don't understand anything else other than that. So multi-model came into picture. Like this, the brain got a development. How the brain got development? Basically by data. So in a simple layman perspective, teaching a child could recognize an apple by showing different pictures of the apple, how it looks like, right? And pictures of other fruits by showing it will distinguish this is apple, this is orange. Over the time, the children learns the pattern. If it looks like round, it is a ball. If the same round it looks like in a different pattern by having some small grains in it, it is an orange. When I smell, the orange has a smell. Ball does not have a smell. Like this, the children will understand by looking, by feeling, by touching, by smelling. A human being understands. AI that's the similar thing. It will go and use the huge volume of data to understand the pattern. By that way, if you go and ask the AI to generate something else, later it started generating. Initially, the machine learning model does not generate sound. The traditional machine learning models only know how to recognize the data by looking into it, by feeding it into it. Later point of time, the machine learning model was being evolved in such a way to generate even output. That is nothing but generative AI model we were started calling. But the machine learning model as such was designed in such a way not to generate. They will only know how to get trained with the data, that is structural data. That is a numerical data which we have to go and give to the machine learning model to get trained and go and do some prediction or some prescription or some sort of description it will provide. So how the machine learning model works, we have to feed the data and then the model will find the patterns out of the data. Then build the rules using the data. Oh, if I get a apple in a round shape and if it has a shape with some small hole in it, then it is an apple. If it is in a shape like this, it is an apple. If a round shape we have but a stem we have, it is an orange like this. It will build the rule behind the scene of its own. Machine will automatically build this rule. Not we have to write a rule. Then it will make decisions. It will go and predict something. Oh, if another apple I'm going to get in the similar way, then I'll say it is an apple. This is an example of our machine learning, or basically what is prediction. So spam filtering, we are going to identify this is a spam mail. Based on the prior spam mails and all I have given to my machine, it learned. Netflix will understand. Hey, these are all the movies that you are liking. Based on your liking, it is creating recommendation system. Banks automatically detect the fraudulent transaction because a similar kind of transaction occurs again. They have already the machine learning model feed with the data to identify whether it's a fraudulent transaction or not. So the machine learning model which can learn from data and it can predict outcomes. It will go and give some predicted outcome. That is the next part. Based on the volume of data that you are going to keep you, it is going to forecast with whatever the prior month data that I have given, it is going to forecast what is going to happen next month. How much I'm going to get the business next month. How I'm going to do a weather forecasting. That is forecasting the machine learning model can do with the help of the data that you feed. Analyze the history, spot the signals inside the history. This is the peak time where my business grows. This is the peak time when more sunny or more windy, and it will generate the forecast of what it is going to be next, and it will self-correct if the accuracy is not correct. It is going to have a confidence level built by saying what this output is, whether it is right or not. It will go and do a self-evaluation with the prior data compared with the other data set compared. That is more of the legacy technology, legacy system, where the prediction of house price or predicting whether the patient is going to get cure or he is going to get more worsen. Like this and all, we can take some examples, stock market prediction and all. These are all the outcome of AI. The AI systems has all these capabilities. Apart from that, the AI can recognize images and text. Images and speech, in fact, even text also, that is the next part. Images and speech, it can be able to recognize how? By having the deep neural network utilized, how our brain recognizes. Our brain have multiple parts. Not a single part can produce the output. It has multiple components. The data will pass to multiple components of our brain. The similar way, the deep learning will be working by using the neural network concept, convolution neural network concept, or different types of algorithms are available, which was built by different set of people, which was a old story. Nowadays, the deep learning even have an understanding or using some deep learning model is happening in the organization, but we are in a generative AI world. The next level we are in. So the recognition of the image of different patterns has been identified by using the deep learning and the multi-model AI capabilities. Right? So somebody is keep annotating in my screen. Let me remove it. Okay. So what we do, we basically go and look into multiple objects, multiple images, or multiple sound we used to hear, and we can able to recognize this is going to be this particular item. Like this, we can able to understand by considering the borders, the edges, the core item in it. Like a frame, if I go and show some photo, if I show the edges, the shape of the photo, the faces inside the photo, or even with all this information, we could be able to identify it. Okay, we could be able to identify it. The raw input will be provided. The neural network layer, like how our neuron works. The neuron have multiple, like stages basically. That I'll go and show you next soon. In the next iteration, I'll go and show you how the deep learning works. Without you are going to learn anything, you are going to but learn. Without you are going to put any effort of learning, you are going to visualize and learn. And I'm going to share you this URL for all of you for making use of, for your basic understanding of AI. Okay, so we'll go into that part next. So it is going to identify the features. So what are the features? Okay, a face means it has eyes, it has nose. Nose is a feature, eye is a feature, mouth is a feature. Head and neck and beard is a feature. Like this, it is going to understand. Then it is going to label, this is an eye, this is a mouth, or this is a beard, or this is a mustang. It will understand, oh, it's a human being, it's a man. It's not going to be a monkey. Like this, it is going to identify by recognizing, by identifying the data in the form of image or the form of even audio. The data is going to act like a kind of an input for it. It understands language. So if a model that understands language, we call it as what type of model? We call it as a large language model. How many of you know the difference between the deep learning model or a multi-model or a kind of an models that is being provided by our current generative AI system is differed from the large language model. Which came first? First multi-model came or large language model came? Do you know about large language model means? The language of any different types, different slangs that you use, different way that you use, different English text that you use, even with mistakes or without mistakes that you use, without grammar or with grammar that you use, the model can understand that. Right? That is called a large language model. We are going to explore more in detail about it. So when I'm going to have some text provided to a model and I'm going to train the model with the text, not with statistical data, not with my historical data. If I give the historical data, statistical data, or my transactional data to a model, then it is a machine learning model. If I'm going to give some images and videos and all, or audios and all to a model, then it is going to be a deep learning plus multi-model. Multi-model means it can handle images or videos also. If I'm going to give a text to a model, using the text, it is going to, even generate videos or audios or images, or it is going to recognize what I'm asking via the text. Yeah, casual text I'm going to give, right? It have learned a lot of books and it understood a lot of text, like how our Robo movie Rajini used to scan all the book and he will recognize all the text. Then when Aishwarya Rai asked about some question, he could able to answer. He showing the generative AI model concept over there. He generates the output not by storing it in his brain, in his RAG, retrieval augmented generation layer. He stored that information. He reads the information via his eyes, right? He's using the LLM, the brain, to store that information inside the deep storage called RAG, and he's producing the output when the like Aishwarya Rai asked about, right, in a way of like explaining in his own language, not literally how it was in the book. That is nothing but the architecture we are implementing in our RAG, LLM based RAG system. LLM based RAG system. So like a large language model represents what? A model that is going to get built or get trained with a large content of text. It knows how to like understand the text that you are giving in any language, the conversational bot, or some sort of like document summarization or translation that we are using, the translator that we are using, giving English and we are getting in Tamil or whichever the language, or reading the book and in multiple ways, multiple books, multiple text we are giving to the LLM and getting it trained. And it is getting trained by using some advanced algorithms like the algorithm called transformer algorithm. Like this and all, we are making our model trained a lot. What is transformer? I want to talk wait for a while. Right, training with the text. We are using a transformer mechanism where something called attention mechanism, we used to call it as attention all you need, proposed by Google in the year of 2017. I was just telling, right? That attention is all you need is a mechanism what it's been using, a game changer. This is a game changer actually. The ChatGPT was a game changer, right? Like this, we are having a game changer here, right? Okay, Arjun, just wait. In this workshop, I'm going to engage the question in the last. Let you wait with the questions, okay? I'll address that in the last. Just listen to this first of all, right? So attention mechanism. I have a lot of interesting story to show. Wait for it, right? I don't have time to address the questions right now. We are going to address. Wait for it, okay? Finally. So we are going to give text as an input. The attention mechanism is going to put a weightage on the text. It is going to identify the relation between the text what you are going to give in a forward or in a backward fashion. The models are being used by Google or by OpenAI and all to produce the outcome, predict the next word of what you are going to type, or even it is going to produce the response to you by using the generative AI technique. So LLM means what we will go and understand, wait for it. So the best example is the ChatGPT or Google Gemini or whichever. Then we were having a next level of understanding, which is nothing but the generative AI. If an AI just, so far whatever we discussed is the machine learning will learn from the data. By learning the data, it will go and just predict something. The deep learning or the multimodal AI will understand the data via the images and speech, where the large language model will understand the text. But so far, these models and all will not generate any output. That is where the generative AI model came into existence, that I'm going to talk in the timeline next. Timeline future, I'm going to talk in the next. Timeline of 1940 till date, how the evolution of the AI happened, we are going to talk about. You will get 100% clarity on that. With the given timing, right, whatever we have, let me have a quick time check. I'll finish it in another 15 minutes. Generate the text and code and audio images. That is a generative AI. So it is going to do what? It's going to understand the data, and it is going to learn from the data. It is going to accept the input of text via text or via anything else. You can go and give an input, and it is going to generate an outcome. I'm going to ask, can you create a poem? It is going to generate a structured poem with a image or with a text or with a video or with an audio. That is called generative AI, an AI that have a capability to generate some outcome out of the input what you give. The generated output could be an image or a text or video or even an audio. We call that model as what? The generative AI model, which knows how to generate multiple outcome. Multi-model. We are going to talk about that model as a multi-model. Whether it's a text model or an audio model or a video model, or it can accept everything. That's the way we have to choose the model type. If I'm going to give some external knowledge to my model, see, basically the model is trained by our Google or Microsoft or Amazon or somebody, Meta or somebody. I'm going to say, hey, you are all training the model with a lot of data by running it in your big data centers, but we wanted to have our own computer or our own data center used to train the model. How I can do that? So I'm just not going to train the model. That we can do. That is an SLM. We can create small language model. We can create small language model. We can create. That is a different story. But I wanted to refer my own data with the help of my LLM brain. My LLM has to ground on, understand the data that is present in my own environment. So we built something called a retrieval augmented generation component called RAG. Retrieve, augment, apply some brain on it and generate the output to somebody. When somebody asks some question, you generate the output to them. Like this, we are going to see a very first project on doing this RAG only. So you ask something, literally I'm going to ask what is the refund policy or what is the leave policy or something like this from my data. It is going to answer me with whatever the data that I have provided to him, whatever the data that I added. From that, it is going to answer me with some intelligent outcome. That is retrieval augmented generation. We are going to spend a lot of time in understanding that. Apart from that, agentic AI. What is agentic AI? We are going to have some agents, not human beings, a virtual or a computer agents that is going to do some work on behalf of me. We are going to give some tool to that agent. We are going to give hands and legs to that agent. The agent is going to follow my instruction, take my instruction, and is going to do some work. If I say, hey, can you go and open a calculator? If I say like that, can you open the calculator? If I say, it is going to open the calculator. If I'm saying like, can you go to the cloud or can you go to my GitHub repository and pull the code? It will go and pull the code from the GitHub repository. We are going to witness that soon today. That is agentic. Or if I want to have all these components work together to solve some complex problem, I can't achieve by using only one component to resolve a big problem that I have in my organization. I use LLM to use my text or my language to get understood. Then I'm going to use my generative AI to generate some output. That generated output I wanted to go and plug in somewhere. I wanted to refer some external knowledge to generate this output. Like this, if I want to make all these guys talk together and get the output produced, yes, we can go and orchestrate all of them to produce a massive complex output. That is nothing but we can't able to achieve in one model or which one system the complete achievement. So we have to go and identify what is the problem, what is the test that is needed. With multiple consideration, we are going to produce the output. We are going to make them connected and work and produce the output. Like this, we go with the complex outcome also. This gives us an understanding of what and all the AI can do. And I hope you are able to get some idea with some visual representation, with some simple layman understanding, and with what is the input that we are giving and what is the output we are getting. Got some idea, some basic idea. You can go and reiterate with this. With the given time I just shown you. Just go through this. Next part is a pretty interesting part. I'm going to show you the prototype. This is a timeline of how the AI got evolved. We are starting from our rule-based engine to the next level of multi-model autonomous agents, multi-agents, multi-model autonomous multi-agents. We are going to talk about. We are going to even build that. We have already built, and I'm going to showcase that to you guys. You can consider there are a lot of components that affects the AI. All are looks like AI, but all are different. So how do you can able to recall this concept of AI in a much simpler fashion? I put a lot of time and effort to get this image created with the help of AI, in fact, but I used a lot of different mechanism to create this. Not just like that I was able to create. Okay, I spent a lot of time in fine-tuning this. Okay, what is this one analogy of a human being shows the complete concept of AI. This one image is enough. LLM is nothing but a brain, a cerebrum part of the brain. Who knows how to think, reason, do some planning, understanding, generating some output, everything our cerebrum of the brain will do. Transformer, attention that I'm going to give for some important terms. You are going to say, good afternoon, Irfan, good evening, Irfan. I'm going to give an importance for good, what you have used, evening, what you have used. Like this, which one I have to prioritize, which one I have to least prioritize in a complete text, which one has a particular meaning behind it, I have to go and understand. Irfan, like you are going to say something like this. Irfan, I feel very cold because of, or I feel very cold. Can you switch off it like this if you say? I'm having fan is running and AC is running. What I'll go and switch off? Do I switch off the fan or AC? I'll switch off the AC because I know the heat means it is representing to the AC, not the fan. That recognition I will be doing with the help of the transformer architecture, which is a game changer provided by Google. Google have provided this transformer architecture. Embedding means what? The English normal language that we use. These are all some terminologies used in the AI world, guys. If you are going to enter into AI world, you will use all these terminology. LLM, transformer, embeddings. What is embedding? Embedding is nothing but the text or a format in which the computer can understand in terms of the AI systems. Long back we used to say computers can understand zeros and ones. The similar way, the vectors, the embed, the data in a format of embedding in a number format only, that is also, but an equivalent number format, it will understand. It will understand. That is embedding. Vector database, like our brain, a long-term memory of our brain. The brain will encode. Actually, our brain will not even understand whatever you are speaking directly. It will encode and it will understand. The long-term memory that we are going to store the information is called vector database that we use in our RAG system, which I am going to show you next. RAG is nothing but retrieval augmented generation. Whatever we are storing in our deep storage, deep brain, when somebody asks something, I'm going to retrieve and provide it to them. I will be creating a mind map, right? That mind map is vector data. The map that I create in some style, in some fashion, that is embedding. And I'm going to produce the output. If you ask me something like, hey, what is the concept is, I'm going to bring some output, right? That is RAG. Retrieval, augmented generation. I'm going to tell you some output by retrieving from my deep storage, and I'm going to augment by using my cerebrum, and I'm going to produce the output to you. Multi-model AI. What is multi-model? Not one model I'm going to use. I'm going to use multiple models. I'm going to use my different sensory objects like eyes, nose, mouth, hands and everything, and I'm going to produce some output to you. For example, I'm speaking right now, I'm showing my eye gesture, mouth, voice, moving my hand. That is multi-modal. My multiple part brain is working now. Not only cerebellum, medulla oblongata, everything is working. MCP, Model Context Protocol. If I wanted to connect with some external systems, right, my spinal cord is going to transform that, like it's going to act like as a central repository for, central hub for making my brain connected with the hands and legs and eyes and mouth. Different tools it is going to get connected. It is going to help me connect with different systems to perform some operation via the MCP, Model Context Protocol, which we are going to understand. Model Context Protocol is like a hub through which you can go and connect with some external system, like a USB hub. You are going to buy a USB hub and keeping it in your system to connect laptop, keyboard, mouse, or any other devices, right? It is like that. So how our our spinal cord is connecting, this is transforming all your, that's the reason we used to call it as a backbone is very important for a human being, right? Because it is going to help us connect with the external systems. AI agent is like a hand. Agents means somebody is going to do some work that I'm going to give. The brain will just instruct, but hand will do the work. Agent is the one who is going to execute something, get something achieved. So the AI agent is going to talk with the database. The AI agent is going to collect the data from the web or something else it is going to do, maybe with the help of what? The MCP, Model Context Protocol. Model Context Protocol will run some service through which the agent will go and use that service to connect with some external system. So the hand and leg is going to be operated connecting to our backbone. Otherwise, it could not be able to operate. So it will use the backbone to connect with some external systems. Workflow and orchestration agent. Somebody, my brain will act like a workflow orchestration agent to create a routine for me. Hey, Irfan, you have to do this. You have to start the session by this time. You have to end by this time. You have to do this and all. My brain is suggesting the routine I'm creating. When I do some activity, I may get some hallucination. I may get some confusion. Hey, whether I have to do this or that. Or I may have to put some rules and regulation when I do something. I have to put some regulation by saying what I have to complete this particular discussion by 6 o'clock, not more than that. Guardrailing, like this and all. I have a group of agents, multi-agentic, which you are going to implement. I can't do the work with one person. I have to give the work to another person. That person will do the work and give me the response. I'll use that response and I'll make use of it. That is multi-agent. So this one image you can be able to use for all the purpose. You may require this to go and understand all these terminals. Most of the AI terminologies I have covered here. I have covered here. Let's move next. Very, very interesting part. Very, very interesting part, guys. Okay, Nagaraj, please don't scribble in my screen. Okay, don't rub in my screen, please. Okay, from 1940 onwards, the AI evolution have been started by, which was been, suggested by whom? By whom? John McCarthy. There is a person who, in the year of 1940-50 period, have introduced AI to the world. If you feel AI have came into an existence from 2020, that is true because of generative AI. Because of 2017, Google have proposed a white paper that has been implemented by this guy, Sam Altman and our Elon Musk. They, without sitting idly, what they were doing, they were socializing that. They were enabling that as a product by using the GPT algorithm, generative, pre-trained transformer. Generative pre-trained transformer. The name itself now you can able to slowly understand. Generative means it's going to generate something. With the pre-trained transformers, transformer means the architecture which was proposed by Google. Attention all you need, and understanding the text in a much better fashion, the transformer architecture is introduced. So they introduced a tool, Sam Altman and Elon Musk have introduced a tool called ChatGPT, which was very much famous in the market. Generative pre-trained transformer, GPT. That name itself says what? We are using generative AI, we are having the pre-trained data with the help of transformer architecture. That's what they told. But initially the AI was not in that fashion. So team, I'm going to definitely tell you one thing. After understanding this simulation, this is a simulation tool that we have built actually. Okay. After understanding the simulation, you are going to definitely feel very much comfortable with what is AI is all about. Let's go and attack it. We are going to have some lab over here built to make you feel very much comfortable. Okay. You can take your own time to go through this later, but I'll show you some of these components. So rule-based engine was built originally. Conditional engine. Hey, if something is like this and this and this, you go and produce some results like this. That is how the AI got evolved initially. So if I have high fever, if I have shortness of breath, if I have dry cough, then it could be a symptom for COVID, or it could be a symptom for something else like this. If I have some of this problem, then accordingly it will go and produce the result. Right? You can see some kind of rules applied here. You can go and have some rules applied over with some random cases. You can learn about how this works. Right? Spend some time to understand this with your own time. Okay, team. So let me move forward. Right? This is one of the system you can consider. The rule-based system. Did you understand what is rule-based in no time, team? Right? This is the best what we can just give you guys. Okay? Machine learning. What is machine learning? Understand the data or read the data, understand, and you go and provide some prediction or some prescription or some decision making. So machine learning will be done in two aspects. One is in a fashion of classification, another one is in a fashion of regression. Classification is more of the textual value. We'll go and have some classification made on based on certain understanding of data. Already I have given the data in a form of the categorical or numerical. So classification represents what the I'm going to classify something based on the data what I have learned, what I have understood, which is more of a textual, which is more of a kind of a low cardinal values. Or I'll have some numerical values used to have the regression created. So there are two types of models. We have classification model, regression model. I mean, other models are there, but this is the basic core components of machine learning. We already given machine with a lot of input and it have been already trained. With this, what I'm going to identify, hey, congratulations, you got this. Like this, if I'm going to say, it is identified as a spam mail. So if I'm going to say, I'm getting some crypto offer, it has been identified as a spam again. How? Because there are a lot of terms used here, lot of words used here. If all these words are used means then it is going to be a spam. It is classifying the mail, whatever I'm receiving, as whether it's a spam mail or it's a normal, it's a meaningful mail. Is it a legitimate one? Or the machine learning can be done through the values, the numbers. So I'm going to give already a lot of numbers and make my machine trained in such a way. So I'm going to have the house price prediction made here. So with the two-bedroom house after which is of 10 years old or 20 years old, right? How much it is going to be in the market value. Like this, I'm going to predict and I'm going to give some calculation to help you buy the house much better. Because I already given a lot of data to my model to get trained. If a house with these characteristics, with this land and this size and all, how much it was sold for, and with that you can just predict with the market with some low location multiplier also added, some additional factors added. Like this, I can create. Already it has been trained with 50,000 samples. This is a prototype case. Okay, consider this a prototype. Deep learning. The deep learning talks about what? It is going to use the convolution neural network for vision model like a computer vision, and the a long short term memory for speech recognition, right? Recurrent neural network for speech recognition and all. It was been already trained with. So what it will do? It will use a kind of a multi-stage algorithm. It will have a stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. Layer 1 will just go and identify some outlines. The layer 2 identifies the core. Like if I'm going to give a photo, it will understand what are the outlines of the photo, the cat pattern if I'm going to give. You are going to pass this in a forward pass, backward, reverse pass also that is a different story. Don't go that depth. So if I'm going to pass this, it is going to have the patterns identified You can see the patterns are being identified over here. The inference will be activating layer 1. Layer 1 is nothing but what? Edges. Layer 2 is shapes. Layer 3 is objects. So the task input is being passed. This is my input data, right? I'm going to pass to my layer 1, 2, 3. Like how our brain neuron works. Similar way, our brain neuron works in that way only. One set of neuron will identify what is this object, what is the edges of this object, what is the actual object that we have. It will assemble everything and it will go and produce the final result. That is deep neural network. It uses the neurons algorithm, the brain neurons algorithm. Okay. Let's go to the next one, the transformer. This was a breakthrough component. A set of people from Google in the year of 2017, almost 6 people, out of which 2 are Indians. They proposed a solution called the transformer architecture. That is nothing but the self-attention mechanism. Like if I am going to pass some input in a form of text, the text is going to be identified by relating with the other text in that passage, in that paragraph. For example, the animal didn't cross the street because it was too tired. If I give a text like this and if I am giving that to the transformer architecture, what it will understand? The it represents. The it you are using here is not representing a street, it represents the animal because it knows the animal is having tiredness. Animal will have tired, street will not get tired. So it will go and use multiple weightage algorithm, multiple correlation algorithm between the text, right? It will go and propagate back and forth and try to understand the weightage what you have to give for. So it will go and give the weightage for animal here, not for the road here or street here. And it will go and ignore the rest of the other characters, the, was, like this and all, it will go and ignore. So if you go and see this, how it works, let me go and run this and see, right? You can able to find how the weightage is being given for this. You can find this, the weightage. The has been given with weightage, our has been given with weightage, how has been given with weightage. So if you go and see this, it has a weightage, animal has a weightage. It represents the animal. They pronounce it's a weight for the animal that has been given with 92% for animal it have given, street only 5% it have given. Like this, the self-weighing mechanism it will follow, the transformer architecture. This is a big architecture we can discuss, but just to take it very simply. Self-attention mechanism, what is the, where we have to do the weightage, how we can identify the final sentence of what we are trying to achieve here. It will understand the text in a bit different angle. This was proposed by set of people from Google, the transformer architecture. Then later, generative AI has been introduced. Hey, don't just take some input from me alone, you go and generate some output. I'm going to add some temperature for making the outcome more decision or more of like what to say, the expected. Go more of a strict deterministic output or an creative output. I'm going to give my photo and I'm going to make my photo more colorful, more white or more hair if I'm going to add. I want to say, hey, nominally, how do you add some hair? You add. Then I'll reduce my temperature. But you add some nominal balanced fashion. You add a hair to it. Or you add some hair like in a funny or in any fashion that you want. You just put whatever the way that you want. Don't do it in a controlled fashion. Like this, I can go and have this mentioned or I provide some input. It could be a prompt or it could be an image or anything else. I'm going to get the output generator. So I'm having some executive content where I'm going to ask, explain the generative AI works in simple sentence. As for an executive, I wanted to explain this. Or what is generative AI? You go and explain this to some old 17th generation people, 17th century person. 17th generation person you explain. Or to a person who is in a quantum physics, who is a kind of a a person who is having some knowledge in the quantum physics. You go and explain that aspect. He don't understand the normal text that you mentioned. So you are going to ask how the output has to be with the different personas it is going to generate. This is generative AI. Generative AI generates the output. With the image or text or even audio, it can be able to generate. Video also it generates. We have video generation also. RAG, retrieval augmented generation. Pretty interesting use case we have created here for for your understanding of RAG, we have created this pretty interesting the prototype. Right? You guys can go and explore this by spending some time. What does it mean? I'm going to have some data of my organization, of my system, of my documents, maybe my resume or my HR related documents or some company related rules and regulation. I'm going to keep it in my vector database. I'm going to, ask some question in the vector database to produce a response to me. So I'm going to load some data to my organizational data, banking and financial related data. I'm going to load it into my database called vector database in the form of embedding. So my language model can understand it much better. If I don't store the data in a vector format, in an embedding format, which my system can understand, which semantical search can understand, then it is hard for me to retrieve the data. So for that reason, we are going to store the data in a semantical form, in a vector and in an embedding format. This is a simulation we are going to see here. It is going to vectorize and ingest the data. You can find that over here what it is doing. It is cutting that into chunks. It is going to store the data into multiple splits, and the data can be retrieved back anytime. So I'm going to ask some questions. Hey, what is the total approval limit for my loan? Like this, if I ask, it is going to respond to me with what is the restriction they have in their bank database. It is going to query the bank database, get the data from the database, and it is going to not respond to me with the record information. It is going to generate the output out of the data in the way how I ask it. If I'm asking a question, hey, can you tell me what is the total approval limit for my loan? It is going to respond to me in such a way from that content, whatever he have grounded. He'll go and take the content and don't show the content as it is. He'll go and reformat it in the way how I feel comfortable and give by using our LLM brain. So here what has happened? You are asking me some question, Irfan. Tell me about what is the next thing we are going to see. Immediately, I'll go and scan my database, my vector database, in the form of embedding that is stored because my brain can understand only embedded data. And from my vector database, I'm going to retrain. I'm going to apply my brain, LLM, the augmentation I'm going to do, and I'm going to generate an output in the way how you ask it. The data that is stored in my brain is not in the way how you ask it. It is being stored in such a way. Project 1 is more related to building a local, building a agentic RAG. That is what is being stored in my internal brain. But I am going to answer in such a way. I'm going to answer how a person can understand. I'm going to tell, hey guys, we are going to build some in local database called vector database where we store the embedding data, and we are going to use some LLM models to go and collect the data and go and produce that with a better output what you can understand. I'm going to explain it that way. That is generation. I'm going to generate the output and explain, not as it is how it is stored in my brain. You will polish and answer, right? That polishing I'm going to do. That is the RAG system we are going to build next. This is a prototype. You can go and have some data downloaded in your local computer, upload the data, and try the RAG how it works. You can able to get some idea even in that way. That way also, pretty interesting story. You can do that here in the prototype what we have built. So company policies is being downloaded in my downloads folder. I'm going to upload this company policies. I'm going to ask some question related to the company policy. Tell me about the maybe like the day-to-day or daily limits. I have already some examples shown. Daily limits we have like this. If I'm going to ask, it is going to say, hey, what is the limit for performing this? Like some operation. What operation? Daily meal allowance per day is $75 for instructors. Like this, we are going to have some daily limit for my food. If I'm going to ask a question like that, our daily limits, it is going to commonly take what are the common limits are there from the data. This is called RAG. RAG with no time. We are learning what is RAG in no time. But this is a need of the market. Agentic. What is AI agents? I'm going to ask some computer system to go and perform some activity called react activity, reason, understand what I'm asking you, right? And then act on it. So I'm going to ask somebody, hey, Raghu, can you do this work? Raghu is first going to reason what Irfan is trying to ask. I'm going to say, Raghu, can you, get me my phone if I ask. Raghu will understand, oh, Irfan is asking me to bring the phone. He will go and take the phone. And then what he will do? He will realize whether he have taken the phone or he have taken something else. If he realizes that he have taken the phone, if he observe that, then he'll go and deliver that to me. He'll complete the work. I'm saying, Raghu, can you pick my phone? What he'll do? He'll go and first of all reason, oh, Irfan is asking me to pick the phone. Then he'll do what? Act. He'll go and walk near my phone and he'll pick that. Then what he'll say? Oh, whether I pick the phone, great. Let me hand it over to Irfan. Let me complete my work. Raghu, can you pick my phone? He's picking the remote, not phone. Then what he'll say? Sorry, I did not pick the phone. I realized this is a remote. Let me throw away the remote. Let me pick the phone again and I'll give. Until I get the result achieved, I won't iterate. That is agentic. That is agentic. So I'm going to ask, hey, can you go and perform this activity of what you know? Identify the competitor stock analysis. I wanted to do, my company is Inceptus. Inceptus wanted to analyze what is the competitor's stock growth for last year. Comparing to my company, the other company's stock is how growing. I wanted to do this activity by some of my employees. I'm going to ask them to do. So there are agent or multiple agents who is going to work. This is a single agent. I'm going to ask a single agent, can you go and do these activities and produce me the result? So first the agent is going to have some understanding. Oh, Irfan is asking me to find the quarter one, whatever the sales of, he's doing this activity. Irfan is asking me to find the quarter one revenue figure of Apple and Microsoft. Our company is Apple, Microsoft is another company. Let me go and do a web search. I'll go and do some action on it. First I reason. First I try to understand what Irfan is asking. Then I'll go and act on it. I'll go and get the real activity performed on it. Searching the Google or somewhere else and I'm collecting that information. Then I'm going to observe whether I got the right information. Irfan asked me to compare Microsoft with Apple. I just collected the Apple information. Whether that is the right data, what I collected, yes. Now I'll go and do what? Irfan asked me to compare and produce the result. Then I'll go and compare that with the Microsoft. Then I'll go and find what is the percentage difference between them. Then I'll go and produce that output to my end user who is asking me. Like this, I will iterate until I get the results by doing react operation, reasoning, actioning, and observing. I'll do this three activity. I will do this three activity. The same way, I wanted to get some database query optimization performed. This is a very, very interesting use case you can consider. Database query activity if I want to perform. I'm going to ask some of my developers to do this activity. I want to identify one of the developer I'm asking, can you go and check whether the query is performing well. So he's going to, first of all, reason. Oh, what Irfan is asking, he's asking me to go and analyze the log and indexes and other things, and he wanted to produce the result of tuning the query. First he's going to reason, then he's going to act of running some queries on the database, explain plan on it. Then he's going to observe what is the response for that explain plan. Then he's going to find some, one more time after he got the response from that system, he's going to analyze, oh, there is some index is missing. There is some clustering is missing, partitioning is missing. Let me go and add it. Let me add the index. Let me act on it. After I observe, I'm not producing the response. I'm going to again, after reason, I don't produce the response. I'm going to again perform the action. Once this action is completed, I'm going to again, observe the result, find the feedback and observe the result. Then once I get the result, I'm going to produce that as an output to my person saying, hey, I did a 2 iteration to perform this operation. Like this, an agent will do the work and complete the work until he finds the best result. He's going to do some action. It is not going to just say, let me produce you some content. It is going to do some work behind this. That is called agent. The LLM, while LLM generates out, while LLM will understand our language using transformer architecture, while generative AI generates a response to me, while RAG will go and make use of our data storage layer to collect the locally grounded data, some external data that I brought and keep it where I'm asking my LLM to go and think not only with the data what has been trained with. I'm going to ask, use some external reference also and produce me the response by generating the output. I'm asking the RAG system to build with the LLM, generative AI with like my local vector database also I'm using. All this I'm just combining together and producing some response, some result out of it. The agentic is one more level. What I'm saying, don't stop just by producing a response to me. Go and do some activity. Don't just say, hey, how long this query is taking to run. If I do that, it will be done by our LLM itself. The LLM will understand and generative AI will produce a response of this query is running for 1 hour. But I'm going to say, no, don't just stop there. You ask our agent, you go and understand all this, do all this. Understand my language, whatever I'm giving, generate the output. But that output you don't directly give it to me. You give to our agent. That agent, let him go and perform some action on the table or on the database. Let him add some indexes. Then he produce the response. That is agent AI. Model context protocol, what I'm telling, hey agent, you want to connect with some database, right? I'll give you some connector. I'll have some service started in a name called MCP server. You go and simply use that MCP server to connect with some external database and go and pull the data and perform some activity. That's called MCP, Model Context Protocol. The year of 2024, Anthropic introduced the Claude company, right? That company have introduced the MCP protocol. So I'm asking MCP protocol to be used to connect with some external system. Then multi-agent is the future. I'm going to ask multiple agents to get coordinated to do some complex work, which we are going to see today by implementation. We have implemented. We are going to see that. Okay. With this, I'll stop this theoretical discussion. Let's go and enter into our project discussion. I know we are on top of that. We already crossed around. The time is 6:30 now. 1 hour 20 minutes. But you got some basic idea about this concept thing, right? I know this is for the people who does not have an idea on this. You can see this at the very high level. AI, machine learning, deep learning, then generative AI. All this come under the umbrella. AI is the top layer. AI, under the AI only everything comes. Machine learning is bit outdated. Deep learning is also getting slowly outdated. Now we are in a generative AI world. In the generative AI, using the generative AI application, we can use LLMs, agents, RAG, multi-models, model context protocol, multi-agentic system, autonomous agents. That is the final stage. That is the next stage, next levels. That is all about. I know this is too much of information in a very short span of time, but I wanted to impart one thing to you, all of you. What is that? You are understanding, or you are going to use this to develop your basic AI knowledge. Now let's go and realize all this. Hey, Irfan, you are talking about AI, generative AI, LLM, RAG, and all that. Can you show me that? Okay, let's go and see that. Okay, we are going to first implement a project here, right? So where we are here. We completed this part. Maybe rather than 45 minutes, we took how long? 1 hour and 20 minutes. 1 hour and 20 minutes. So we have to sync this timing at least, but let us try to understand this concept in at least 15 minutes. Okay. The first project I'm going to show. Maybe I'll go with the code walkthrough in the last if time permits. At least I'll go and walk over with you on this particular whatever the like a project walkthrough. You have to realize what is the concept, right? For that I'll go and walk. What will happen if the document has image? Raghu have asked a question. If the document has an image, right, we have to use an image model also to recognize the document. So we will use multi-model capability for that, Raghu. With me? I hope you got some high-level answer. The model will take, based on our input data, Raghu, the model will take care. No. Not exactly Jayanathan, right? We have to have multiple models used behind the scene, then only the model can be able to consider that. Otherwise, it can't. So the one model is not a silver bullet for every outcome that we need. We have to use the respective model behind the scene to achieve that. With me, Jayanathan? Okay? Fine. I'll show you, like this one I'll show you. Yeah, we have to have multiple models. Correct. We have to use the respective models to achieve. No worries. Okay, let us move next. Project 1. This is a very simple project, but it's a powerful project. Okay, let me go and open it. Whether I have it open and running? No, I don't have running. Let me go and run it, okay, from scratch. So we have our own environment created where we are running this multi-agentic RAG using OLMA and Azure service. We are going to use multi-cloud, multi-agentic RAG system. What is multi-cloud, multi-agentic RAG system? I'm going to very simply say, hey, I will give you some data. I'll ask you to go and find some pattern out of the data. You go and produce some output to me from the data what I give you. Like this, I can either ask. That is called RAG. So how the RAG works, first we'll go and understand. So I'll go and run this service. Wait for a while. I'm starting my service over here. So we developed a front-end application by using some tool called Streamlit. This is a tool that is being used for performing some demo activity in our organization. I did not put too much of effort in building some web GUI and all for. I just used a very lightweight tool called Streamlit. This tool is going to demonstrate you what is RAG is all about. RAG means what? Retrieval Augmented Generation. I'm going to store some data into my database. That database is not a normal database. If it is a normal database, then we call it as a MySQL or SQL Server. The database is going to act like a embedding database, vector database we used to call it as. Vector database means the database that stores the data in the form of numbers and embedded values. Embedded values means it will put some set of numbers that helps the user to go and search the data not based on the actual text. They are going to search the data by using semantical search. What is semantical search? Basically, the vector DB will create the data in such a way like this. Let me just quickly show you this data, right? For example, I'm going to store some data like dog, and I'm going to store the data like animal. Okay, the data will be converted in such a way like the dog will be stored with a value of 110. For example, I'm telling it will store with a lot of other values. Just I'm putting a number. Animal will be stored with the value of 111. Then animal and dog does not have any relation in terms of the text, but in terms of the type of the living being, it is a dog, it is an animal. So what it will do, the data will be stored in the vector DB as 110 and 111. When I go and search, can you tell me how many animals we have? Like this, if I ask, it will go and identify not only the dog. If I have cat also, for example, the cat will be stored with the value of 112. If I ask animal, it will go and take the content called 110, 111 and 112. 111 I am passing as an input. 112 we have already stored here in our database, in our vector database in the form of numbers. So what it will do, it will go and take this animal equivalent value of 111, compare with 110, compare with 112, and identify a similarity scoring matches. It will go and use some concept called similarity scoring concept. It will go and compare and identify, 111 is nearby to 110. 111 is nearby to 112. Then I am going to say there is one dog and one cat is there. It will return the result as what? Return the result of 110 and 112 is the data. It will return. But we can't produce the result as 110 and 112, right? What it will do? It will go and convert this 110 and 12 to dog and cat. But it won't just return the result as dog and cat. It will pass this result. So far what is happening? Behind the scene, our vector DB is being used. But after this, our LLM will come into picture. The LLM will say what? Large language model will say what? It will understand, dog and cat, what is the input? If one asks how many animals we have. So it will go and put some weightage. The animal is the weight value. The attention mechanism, transformer mechanism, what it uses. It will go and identify how many animals we have. So how many I have to identify? It will use multiple mechanisms, three set of activity to do behind the transformer architecture. I'm not talking all about it. It will measure how many animals, how many animals. So it will go and return not dog and cat, it will return 2. If I ask, rather than how many, if I ask, which are all the animals that we have? Accordingly, the LLM will understand, if one is asking for which are all the animals. So I have to return, we have dog and cat. It will return like this. We have dog and cat because we are using the LLM on top of which environment? Generative AI, generative AI, we are going to use generative AI model to say, hey, don't only use the large language to understand what I'm asking. You generate the output also in the way how I feel comfortable to see. Don't just return dog and cat to me in the output. LLM will return dog and cat. But you produce me the output in a way of, we have dog and cat. Just add some text and generate the output in a form of textual format. Or I'm asking, hey, which are all the animals we have? Can you show the photo reference of it like this if I ask? What it will do? The LLM will use the generative AI model of what type of model? It will use the image model. It will use the Gemini image model. It will use the LLM, like OpenAI image model. It won't use a single model. For understanding of our text, it will use LLM, large language model. For producing the image, it will produce image model like one question what our friend asked. You got it? Multi-model. We call this a multi-model. We build a multi-model system here. Getting it? Okay, let me move forward to our this execution of the project. Okay, now we are going to understand about what is RAG. The RAG is Retrieval Augmented Generation System. What it is going to do? It is going to help me store the data into our vector database. I'm going to store some data into my vector database. What data I'm going to store? I'm going to store some data called something like maybe my HR policy data. Let's assume. I'm going to store some HR policy information in my vector database. This is a real implementation what you have made, a project that we have made. So the data is getting stored in this vector database. This vector database internally, the Chroma DB, this data is getting stored. Okay, this is a real data that is getting stored inside the Chroma DB. I started this application just now. Okay, it is telling Irfan, I'm processing and converting the data into chunks, small pieces, and I'm chopping this data into chunk size and all we have defined internally, and I stored the data into our vector DB in a form of embeddings and vectors, numerical format we store. Now I'm going to have some question asked. Hey, from the HR data, can you, from the HR data, policy data, from the RAG, can you show me the, let us ask some question related to the data what we have, okay? In the downloads folder, I have this HR data, right? Let me open. What happened? HR data I'm opening. So here we have some information. Let's go and ask some information. Hey, okay, let me ask this question. From this table, you go and identify how many holidays that we have, like on the month of October, I'm going to ask. Or let me ask some other question. Can you tell me about the maternity and the paternity leave policy? Can you tell me about the maternity leave policy? I'm going to ask. My RAG system. Okay, let us go and see how it is going to respond. Is it? Is there any black screen showing for Google Meet also, guys, or only for this Meet? Google Meet is fine, right? Thank you. Okay, now the data got processed. The file got stored inside. This is the one I was showing as a prototype in the other example. This is a real implementation. It's not a prototype. Okay, so I'm going to ask, can you show me the maternity policy? What it is going to do? It is going to run behind the scene the LLM, first of all, the RAG to fetch the data, then give that to the LLM brain to generate the output in a form of text by saying, hey, Irfan, I went and I'm doing this activity behind the scene. I have an agent running behind the scene. In fact, I'm having an LLM agent running here behind the scene. To say what is agentic, we won't understand. Let's not worry about this is an agent. This is just a pure LLM we can understand. Pure RAG we can understand. I'm going to retrieve the data from the internal chunks. And based on the question that I ask, it is going to respond to me saying like, hey, Irfan, this is the maternity policy. I taken the data from my internal system. This is what I have found. The observation, the agent is observing this. Observing, hey, Irfan, you wanted me to just get the maternity policy information, right? The thought is you are giving me a thought like this. I observed this. I collected this information. and I'm going to produce you the result. I'm going to produce you the reasoning output. So you can see here maternity and the paternity leave policies has been collected from our data. Are you finding this? Every employees and other information it is collecting, but it is not producing the result as it is. What it is telling, it is giving me in the way how I feel comfortable. This is the work of whom? The final answer is produced like this by the work of whom? This has been done by whom? This is done by LLM. Who did the collection of this data from the document? The RAG, right? The RAG is being grounded by what? The RAG is having the data stored where? In the vector database. So we have now the relation between vector DB, RAG and LLM. Now we can come back and see this. Maybe you can come back and see this now that particular documentation that we used, right? You can come back and see this document now. This particular image you can now see. What is LLM? Is a brain. What is a transformer? That is used for identifying the text and all much better. What is embedding? The data that is stored in my internal storage in the form of like encoded value. The numbers. Cat means 101 or whatever. Then vector database means what? Long-term memory. I'm storing that in some database. RAG means what? I'm going to retrieve the data based on the input that is being passed. It will go and search and find the right output. I used what? AI agents to go and do this activity of connecting to my RAG database and pull the data. I'm using agentic mechanism, but I'll go to the agentic more in detail further. Wait. Then I'm telling what? Hey, go and produce the result by using my LLM brain, which is going to generate the output by using the generative AI. So overall, this has been happening under the generative AI system. Generate the output. Don't just show me the output just like that. You show me in a meaningful fashion, which I can understand easily. It is telling me like a story. Organization employ more than 10 workers required to follow maternity benefits of so and so act like this and all. It is not telling all these detailed things. It is just giving me a very simplified understanding. The act outlines. This is a generated content. The act outlines benefits and leaves of the pregnant woman. I hope what is RAG at the very high level you can have some idea now. What is RAG? If somebody says you know, you will have some idea. Who does not have a knowledge of what is RAG? Okay, now I'm going to say something like this. Say, can you open maybe a calculator? I'm going to ask my system to open the calculator. My LLM will understand. My agent will recognize by using the LLM brain. He will understand. Oh, Irfan is asking me. He's reasoning. Oh, Irfan is asking me to do some activity. What activity? Let me go and see the log. Irfan is the LLM is our agent is understanding, reasoning. Oh, Irfan wanted to do some calculator open. It is going to observe after execution, after performing the action of running this PowerShell command. Is first of all understanding what Irfan is asking. Irfan wanted to open the calculator. That is reason. Action that he performed of running a script in my PowerShell. Actioning. Then observing. He's observing. Oh yes, I opened. There is no output produced, but I opened the calculator. I completed my work. He's going to say the calculator has been opened successfully. You are able to understand what is the agent means in general. An AI agent means what you understand. It have a brain. It have a hand. He used his hand to open my local computer service. I'm going to say, can you show me the list of PDFs in documents or documents folder? Or can you open the documents folder like this sentence? It is going to perform lot of activity until he find the result. What are the list of PDFs that I have in my documents folder? It is going to list until he will put the effort. He will speak within himself until he get the result. First he will reason, then act, then observe. If we get the result means it will produce. Otherwise it will say what? Again it will reason, observe, produce the result. How we didn't provided the data, but we didn't provided the data related to the calculator, how it opens. That is the code what I have performed in the name called the tools in agents. We have some concept called agent tooling. You are with me, Gokula? I have given an agent tooling. The tooling have helped. The tool I have created in the form of functions behind the scene. That function did that activity. I told it I'll open and show you that whatever this thing, like the code, right? You will get some clarity. I'll quickly open and show you. Wait for it. So it is trying to find the result by saying under the username star PDF, but the username is going to be Mohammed. It is not finding the username properly. So it is trying to do the iteration until he complete and until he produce the final result. He's telling, sorry, this directory is not exist. Let me try once again with some different directory. Like this, it's going to perform some activity. So I'm going to say, okay, let me make it more meaningful. Like, don't get confused, agent. Wait, I'll just give you some meaningful input. Right? Show me the PDF in the documents folder of this one I'm going to ask. The PDF file in this documents folder I'm going to ask like this. So this time it is going to run the program much better without getting hallucinated, without getting into a loop. But what my agent is doing, he's working until he produces my result. Okay, let me stop. Let me ask once again a different question. Okay, these are all I'm doing with the local. Now I'm going to say what a agent. I'll ask you to go and speak with one more agent and get me the response. Maybe I'm going to ask what is the weather today. Can you go and search in the internet and tell me what is the, I'm going to ask some question like, can you tell me, let it get started, right? I'm going to say, can you tell me the stock price of Hindustan Unilever, HUL today? Like this I'm asking. So my agent will understand that Irfan is not asking me to do this work on my local computer, on my documents folder, on my Windows server, on my Windows application. He is asking me to get some input from the internet. So he won't understand that. That I have set as a prompt behind the scene, saying like, hey, if somebody asks for some other content which is not present in my RAG database or in your local computer, then you go and connect to internet. So he's understanding. You see the agent's thought process. What is the, it is understanding, oh, Irfan is asking me to, I did not mention from internet, but he is understanding the HUL is a Hindustan Unilever is not identified in our local document because local document does not support. Local file system does not support. Windows OS does not have HUL kind of application. He will understand and he'll go and check for the Hindustan Unilever data and it is producing the result. What is the price of HUL observation? So it is producing the result by saying this is my total cost as per the economic terms. I was having this stock purchased in the year of 2000, 2002 period, 2007 period for 150, 200 rupees. Now it got 10 times ground. Great. Okay. Just after a long time, I'm seeing this Hindustan Unilever. Okay. Team, you are with me? This is agentic. In general, we have an agentic multi-cloud RAG. What is it multi-cloud RAG or what is the cloud RAG I'm talking about? I'm going to say now, hey, don't stop with the internet search. Don't stop with my Windows computer or local server and all. You go and talk to some external cloud with one more agent and produce the result if I say. So that's where what I have did over here is, I have built an agentic system. I have built one more agents in the cloud platform. Maybe I'll go to the Azure cloud. In the Azure cloud, right? I know some of our batch members who attended the last batch have seen this, but the people who are attending newly, right? You can consider, right? This one. Azure cloud, I'm going to the Foundry platform. I'm going to my Foundry platform. Maybe I have created some project over here. So I have created a agent over there in Azure cloud. I'm going to say now, hey, can you use my Azure agent and speak with him and get the work done? I'm going to ask my agent, my local agent. This is called multi-agents. We are going to see multi-agents further also, but just an idea I'm giving here. I'm going to say what a guys, you speak with each other and produce me the result. Like in a team, I will say, right? Similar concept. So here I'm going to say what? Go and have some group of people work and produce me the result. Multi-agentic. You train the model, created model to pick where action has to be based on the input. It runs the action based on the input. Yes, it is running the action of its own. That is called agentic. Agentic is not a direct human. Agentic is going to be an autonomous one. It is going to make the decision, James. It is not. I'm not going to say, agent, you do this work. I'm going to give some instruction to agent to say, you make your own decision and do the work. That is called agentic. The model training and what you are asking is a traditional mechanism. I did not train the model. That is how the model that has been trained and provided to us in a name called LLM by our, like these people, the cloud people, or by our local RAG people. It's an autonomous agent. It is going to make its own decision of doing the work. I did not tell, right? But I have the tool given to the agent. See, I'm going to recruit an employee without giving a software to the employee, how the employee will want work. It is a concept like that. So that is called the tool calling agent, or tools to the agent I'm going to give. So the agent is like a hand. I'm going to give a tool to make a call to the somebody whom I'm asking. The agent will go and make the call as per my ask. He will reason, he will understand. Then he will go and act by typing the number. Then he will go and make the call. If he made a right call and received that information, what I asked him, he will go and complete that. Otherwise, what he will do, he will go and make a call to somebody else until he gets the result. If he's, see, the agent is nothing but like this. I'm going to have some functions created behind the scene to say, like one of our team members asked, right, how it knows it's a calculator program I have to open. I told very simply, hey, agent, if somebody is asking you to open some Windows related applications, what you do, you go and use some PowerShell command to you try to know, you already have been trained with how to open a calculator program in Windows, right? That has been already trained by somebody. I'm going to say, you just use that model to go and use that knowledge what you gathered already. Then you go and open the calculator program by typing the program on behalf of me. I don't know how to type the calculator program to get created. You just do that work. That's the reason I'm employing you. Okay. I understood you had the question related to the internals of how it works. Wait for a while, I'll show that. We have a very short time, but however, I'll show that in a very short span of time by opening the code. First, you try to understand what we are doing here. Then you can understand the code of what we are doing. Okay. Wait for a while. I'll show that. Okay. The next one is I'm going to just talk about. I'm going to make two agents speak with each other. One is a local agent and another is a cloud agent. So for that, what I did is I went to our cloud platform, into our cloud Microsoft Foundry platform. Under the Inceptus project one or somewhere, I went and already have some agent build. I had some agent called agent new is built. This agent know how to go and interact with. I asked this agent, I used the web UI. I did not write any code here. Even we can build the agents without coding nowadays. No code agents. I created a no code agent here. In this no code agent, what I told, hey, agent, I will give you one tool called GitHub tool. You want to use your GitHub tool to go and connect with GitHub and pull some code and all if I ask you. Go and use the GitHub tool. So I can go and add the tools of whatever is needed, even a web searching tool or Atlassian Confluence tool or any other tools that I want to add, I can go and add it here. These are all functions created and kept ready by Microsoft. If I don't have Microsoft services used, then I have to develop this tool in my local. That is what I did in the other case. So to break the ice of what you guys are asking for, let me go and show this. Right, but if you go to the coding, that will take long time to complete. But however, let me quickly show you this. So I have built the agentic engine and the agentic tool. Agentic engine is like a brain, like a body, LLM and everything. Tool is nothing but a function that I'm going to create to open any softwares in the system. So it is going to do what? It is going to have the functions created over here, and I'm giving it's not a connector, it's a function, you can see. The tools you can call it as. Connector means it will come to the MCP related concept. So I have multiple functions created. I ask Azure Cloud Agent. I ask the execute PowerShell. So I'm going to tell to my agent body, the agent engine, I'm going to say, hey, agent engine, I have grounded you with some prompt or context. I created a context engineering. This is my agentic RAG engine. If I'm going to open this application, this agentic RAG engine will sit and start work. He's my main class, main program. This main program, I'm going to say what? Hey, you want to use our local Olamma engine. This entire application is running in our local LLM, not with a paid LLM, which is a free LLM we are using. We are not connecting with ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or anybody. We are using our own local LLM. What is local LLM? How we are running the local LLM in our local computer or in our cloud platform? We are going to show that soon. Wait for a while. Today, when we are going to show our data center, how we are using this environment and all, I'll go and show that. Wait for a while. So, one second. So, okay. Local LLM, we are going to play around. I'll talk about it and all. So, we are using some model called Lemma 3.1 model. Lemma 3.1 is provided by Meta. The WhatsApp we are using, right? The company have released this model called Lemma 3.1. Like this, there are 3.5 models are there, or Lemma CPP model is there. Like lot of models are released by different companies are there. We can pull that. In our rack, in our data center, we had multiple, models used, especially the DeepSeek model and all we are having. Okay, great. Okay, let us try to understand it. So if you see here, I have load document, I have process document. For our RAG, I have created some functions, Python functions, and I created some get the agent executor function. Go and execute the agent with the model of Lemma 3.1 model, LLM model, large language model. Get query the uploaded documents for the RAG tool like this and all. I have all this routed from the application that I have did. When I click on the button, it will go and call these functions in the behind the scene. Leave all this. I'm having some system message or some sort of like prompt given here. I'm telling you are a highly capable agent. Respond to the human helpfully and accurately as possible. You have access to the following tools. So we call this as a prompt engineering. Role prompt I'm assigning. I'm telling you are going to play a role of an agent. We have some techniques called role prompt engineering and I'll leave that. I'm going to give some tools to you. What are the tools I'm going to give you? I'm going to give some safe internet search tool, search local files tool, execute PowerShell tool, query uploaded documents tool, and I'm going to give you one more tool called Ask Azure Agent. So if I go and say use all these tools, I'm employing an employee, I'm going to bring an employee to my organization. I'm giving a lot of tools to him to make use of. And I'm telling him some rules and regulation. Hey, if somebody asks our employees or somebody asks you to do some activity, take the question, have a thought process on it, observe the result, and go and again repeat the work until you get the outcome generated. This many number of times you go and iterate. I have some guardrails set. After 4 times you just fail. If you can't able to achieve the result after 4 times, you fail. What are some of the rules you have to follow? I'm setting some rule to my employee. I'm getting an agent. This is what we have to know how to use in the organization. As a data engineer or as a software developer or anyone you can consider, you have to know how to generate the agentic system like this and how to properly give a responsible AI for the agents. Responsible AI, how do we use for making our agents sit and run much better? I have to set the rules, guardrails, grounding, everything to the agent. I'm setting a tool priority here. First, you go and check the uploaded document in the RAG. First, don't go outside and all. Then go and ask the cloud agent. If the cloud agent is not going to produce some result, then go to the search engine. Go to our internet search. I have created all this as a function. So this ask cloud agent is a function. This function is doing that work. Ask cloud agent is a function. Where this function is kept, that is what is kept in the agentic tools. This agentic tool is a separate program, a module I created where you have this ask cloud agent. So in this ask cloud agent, I told what I go and call the program, the endpoint that have been provided by Microsoft. In Microsoft, what I did, I went and created one agent. How to create an agent? It's a very simple activity we can able to perform. To go and create a new agent by having some configuration followed, some web UI followed. Let me not do that right now with the given time. I just had some configuration made for my agent by saying, what, hey, agent, you want connected to GitHub. I went and did some configuration to get my agent connected to GitHub. Now I'm going to say, what, hey, this call agent program that I have collected from here, and I given this program only, this endpoint only to my local program, local agentic program. I just gave the same endpoint. Insert as project one resource services ai.azure.com. Same I have given to. And I'm asking, hey, can you go and use this particular function to go on 141 line to 177 line? I wrote a code. Collect the data from the agent, talk to another person and get that information and produce the response like this. So now I'm going to ask, what are all the repositories that we have in the GitHub? So there is a GitHub repository that we have. Inceptus Jobs Max is my repository, is my GitHub account. From this GitHub account, can you go and collect the information and show me like this? I'm asking. Hey, can you get the list of repositories in the GitHub of this one using Azure agent like this? I'm asking. So it is going to talk to my Azure agent. Yeah, Azure agent. I'm local agent. I'm Irfan's local agent, Inceptus local agent. Can you go and help me with the the Git repository information connecting to the Git? Can you pull that information? You have been given with the tool, right? Can you use the tool and pull like this? Who is asking? Our like this guy is asking. Our local agent is talking to the cloud agent. So the cloud agent is going to use his tool called GitHub, his hand called GitHub with some device. He's going and collecting that information. You can see the thought process here. It is calling the function called Azure. Ask Azure agent this function. Now you got the answer. Somebody asked this question, right? How it knows how to open the calculator. I created a common function, not a calculator function. I created a common function saying if somebody asks to execute some Windows related services, you go and run some command, whatever they are asking. You interpret and provide that command. I did not told a calculator program is this one that the agent will do. That's the reason we have LLM, large language model, and generative AI. You are slowly understanding. AI means just not go and asking some chat GPT to generate some output for me. How to use the generated output. How to pass the generated output to one more agent. So here you see this agent is getting the list of repository and sending back the list of repository to my other agent. That other agent is doing what? Azure agent is telling, here is the list of repository, local agent. Now the local agent is doing what? It is going and finding what are all the list of repositories that we have. It is telling IZ workshop is the repository. I just passed what input? Only the Inceptus Jobs Max I passed. Here you see. So the GitHub account information I passed. The Azure agent went and collected that and handed over to my agent. You are able to see slowly a multi-agenting system here. See? With me? I'll stop here. Next project is a very, very interesting project. Very, very important and an interesting project. Okay, let's go and see that. Okay. Let me ask this question, right? So our team members who are attended this tool learning and all, this AI learning and all in the last batch, right? You are all able to interpret this much better, much faster, team. You are all able to interpret this. Team, I just want to know from the people who already have the last batch people, right? Last batch aspects. Right. So you are all able to interpret this much better, right? And the most awaited component, which I was keep telling you guys, like guys, still I'm building that. It takes some time. It took almost a month of time to build that next agentic system. A pure the next one, what you are going to see is a pretty interesting data engineering based system, which is next level of next generation of the technology what data engineers are going to come across. The data engineering AI suite I have built. Data engineering AI suite. Real-time production grade AI application for aiding the data engineering system by using multi-agent Model Context Protocol MCP service, where it is going to provide us the data quality and reconciliation feature. Plus, it is going to act like a agent to perform a Git invocation. It is going to collect the code from the Git. It is going to vectorize the Git code into our RAG system. We are going to have 4 tabs in our application where it is going to provide most common problematic, the solution for most common problem that we face in our like nowadays world in the data engineering. So I'm going to show you this tool demo now. Pretty interesting tool. Okay, definitely this tool is not even in the thought process by most of the people in the market. It's not even in the thought process. Okay, so the similar kind of concept. Additionally, what I'm going to add here, other than our this application called the agentic application, other than the agent code that I have, other than the prompts and the agent code that I have, what I'm again additionally going to have is MCP service. I'm going to do what? I'm going to start all my services like like we are going to start 3 MCP services, 3 MCP connectors, 3 USB connector I'm going to establish in my computer. One is MySQL, another one is team. Whoever newly attending the session today, just wait for a while. I'm going to show you a very good career improvement tool that you guys can use for your career growth, the resume builder tool what we built. So just wait for it, just to spend your additional 1 hour of the time. You are going to get something like really an elevated thing arrive. Okay, then just wait for it. Your 1 hour is going to help you grow your career for years. Means wait for it, right? So just don't get dropped by. Reserve the 3 hours of the time for your next generation technology growth. This is not no one has this kind of stuff and all created. We spend a lot of months of time to create this for this 3 hours workshop. Don't take it very easily. Okay, don't just take it like we just have created something for your usage and all. Okay, wait for it and listen to it. Okay, so I am just going to start 3 different MCP servers. One is for connecting with the Google Cloud Platform.
Irfan,
Yeah,
unable
looks
to
like
hear
muted. We are not able to hear you.
you. Irfan, it's unable to hear you. Can you check out the audio?
You are not able to hear me. 1 second. One second, please. Can you hear now? Okay, great. See, because
Yeah.
this entire resources are occupying my audio resource, maybe you might not able to hear. Okay, great. Thanks, Steve. Thanks. Okay, because this is a very heavyweight component. Don't think it's a very simple component. It's a very heavyweight component. I'm running 3 MCP servers, 3 connectors I'm running, 3 hubs I'm running. These 3 MCP servers are going to talk to 3 different systems. One is GitHub repository is going to talk. I'm not going to use my Azure agent. I'm going to use my local agent. It's a on-premise agent we are going to use. We are not going to spend money to Azure. To use Azure agent, we have to spend money. So I developed an agent to go and connect with GitHub, with MySQL, with SQL, with BigQuery data warehouse. So let's assume as a data engineer what we do. We have 4 components over here. One is the multi-agentic MCP based data quality and the reconciliation component. This is going to do what you know. It is going to connect with MySQL database or BigQuery database of our cloud system. We have our cloud system with some databases available here. Let's go and see this, right? console.cloud.google.com I'm going. This is my cloud, my Google Cloud database, Google Cloud environment. Okay, already I have this in a ready state. Let me use this. So let's consider there is a table called settlement transactions table that we have, where we receive the data from the BigQuery. We receive some data from the MySQL database of our Google Cloud environment. We have in Google Cloud there are two environments. There is one is a database, and from the database we receive the data into our one second. We have a database called Cloud SQL, MySQL database. From the MySQL, we are receiving the data to our cloud, Google BigQuery service. We are receiving the data to our data warehouse. This is a pipeline and data engineer have developed that Sajid. That pipeline code is kept over here in the GitHub repository. Let me just tell you what is the environment. So I have some code developed in such a way to pull the data from MySQL database to the BigQuery. I wrote some Spark program, some Python program, some Spark program. Don't worry about this code at all. I wrote some code to create a connection to MySQL database by using some username, some password. I did not put my username and password in the internet in the GitHub repository. Right? I'm going to have some foreign catalog connection created. I'm going to create a connection with the foreign system from my local system, and I'm going to have the data from the foreign database table called MySQL foreign catalog table pulled to my BigQuery table. I'm going to I'm writing a pipeline like this. I am a data engineer. Let's assume the data engineer work is bringing the data from some database, some data warehouses, or from some file systems to our system. Is the work of the data engineer. So, being as a data engineer, what I'm doing, I'm collecting the data from the cloud database, which my organization is owning. Let's assume. So, if we see here from this database, I'm going to pull some data and put it in my BigQuery table. This is my source database. Something called our Recon DB. I created some DB called Recon DB. Okay, done. So from this Recon DB, we have some table called GL transaction table, general ledger transaction banking data. We have some banking data over here for a reference, for your quick learning purpose. I had some small data for a purpose of easy usage. 22 records, I have transaction ID, date, transaction amount, currency, account number, all this. What I did is I wrote a program, a Spark program, to collect the data from the MySQL database table and put it into my BigQuery table. So when I wrote this Spark program to collect and put the data into my table, it is called an ETL system, ETL program, or a pipeline program. I use the pipeline program that I have committed in my GitHub repository. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, hey, my agentic system, whatever I created, the AI system, whatever I created, you aid me, you helped me making my data engineering program run much better. The very, very important need of the market is how in your system you are going to implement AI. Not a common application. I showed a common application. How can I go and use the agent to go and do some activity for me? That is one work, what we have seen in the previous project. This project is talking about for my data engineering system, for my testing system, for my any other system, how I'm going to use the AI benefit. A beautiful application what we developed. So I'm going to say now here, hey, can you do one thing? After the data is completed, loading into from the Cloud SQL to the BigQuery, can you go and do some evaluation on the data? Can you do some testing on this data? This is where the testers are losing their job in the in this modern AI world. Can you do the testing on behalf of me? I'm going to simply ask. I'm going to just simply click this button. This guy is going to do the orchestration agent running. There is an agent called orchestrator agent running. This guy is going to use some system called LangChain system, who is going to chain the languages. Who is going to make the models and all speak with the other systems. He's going to act like a kind of a body for making the brain speak with the hands and legs and everything. LangChain is a service. Leave that for now. Don't worry. What it is doing here is it is collecting the data from the source collecting the data from the target and comparing. And he's finding, oh, Irfan, you have given two tables here. What is the source table? GL transaction table. That is the source table what we have here, right? GL transactions table. And the target table is settlement transactions. The source table contains how many rows? 21 rows. The target table contains how many rows? 16 rows. You can see in the bottom, 16 rows. Now, this guy is telling, hey, Irfan, when I compare the source and the target, that is the reason you built this agent, right? So what now the things have happened is, my orchestrator agent asked the source agent to go and use the MCP server that is running here. You have a MySQL MCP service running here. This MCP server work is doing what, you know? If somebody go and ask him, hey, can you help me connect with MySQL database? He will go and help him connect. You're able to understand what is MCP here slowly. Model context protocol. If a model wanted to speak with some external system, this MCP server what we started will help that model to connect with some external system. Like this, we have how many external systems? 3 external systems. One is MySQL, another one is BigQuery, and another one is our Git repository. So what we have did over here is a BigQuery MCP server we started. This guy is responsible for making connection from our model to the external database. He is acting like a hub. He is acting like a USB connector. If I go and plug my mouse in that USB connector, it will be getting connected. Like this, an USB connector of 3 connectors I added in my system. This connector work is what? Taking the input from me and going and connecting to the MySQL database or SQL Server database or any databases or any system, it will go and help me connect. That's what I have made here. We got connected. Who did that connection? My agent went and connected. The orchestrator agent, one agent have told what, agent number 1, you go and connect with MySQL. Agent number 2, you parallelly connect with BigQuery. Pull the data, pull some sample data, pull the entire data, whichever, whatever the code that we have made here. Pull only a given day data or pull the entire data. Like this, I have given the input here. Based on that, the agent will go and collect the data by using MCP server. The agent will ask MCP server. MCP server will go and help the agent connect with database. Database data will be collected by MCP server and given to the agent. The agent will keep both data in the hand like this. You can see here, right? The orchestrator agent initialized the multi-agent recon engine. And he told what, agent number 1, you go and connect with MySQL database. Pull the data from this table. And again, agent number 2, you go and connect the data from, connect and pull the data from settlement transaction from my BigQuery table. And can you go and get the count, row count that I have created as a function inside. Go and get the count by running select count of star from GL transaction, select count of star from the settlement transaction. From the source MySQL, this is 21 rows returned from MySQL, 16 rows returned from like our BigQuery. Both like the agents have connected to the respective MCP servers and collected the data. Now orchestrator called an agent called schema mismatch agent. Why? If you see the data, the source is having more data, target is having less data. What could be the potential reason for the data loss? The source may have one set of column, one data type in the column. Target may have some other data type in the column. Because of that, the data is not reached the target properly. Could be a potential reason in data engineering world, right? Team agree? Data engineers, ETL developers know this problem. MCP means Model Context Protocol. The protocol used to make my model connected. The context of model, I need a protocol to connect with some external system. That is called MCP. Model needs some protocol to get connected with some external system. That is called MCP service, MCP server. MCP is one of the famous service or one of the famous concept in the AI world nowadays. Go and put MCP developers opening. You will find a lot of open, right? Everything has its own value. We are seeing everything together, but everything has its own value. Market has a lot of scarcity of these resources. Okay, and mixing this data engineering with MCP, with the agent, with LLM, with GenAI, that is a huge value momentum we have here. That's the reason this workshop I'm executing with. I'm just bringing an awareness to you. Okay, fine. So you can find the reconciliation scorecard has been generated to say, Irfan, You are having some filter used in your document, in your code. That could be the reason behind some of the data whichever is in a pending state is not sent to the target. So we have some like code base used here. If you see this, I have some filter applied here. Settlement status is not equal to pending. Whichever the data that has no settlement with no pending state, only those data I wanted to take it forward. Because of the reason the data is not sent to the target like this, it is telling me some observation. Maybe it could be correct or wrong as well. MCP servers are readily available to use for you, or you develop them. I developed everything. In our local, I did that. MCP servers are available by default in the cloud systems and all. Because we are not using software as a service here. We are developing our own custom software here. With me? Who asked this question? Right, in our current case. But MCP servers are available in common. In the Azure cloud, I have shown that, right? It is available. You want to connect with the MCP server of what? Our BigQuery or MySQL, you can go and use the custom services, or you can use the catalog where you can go and search for whether it is available. BigQuery is available or not. It will say yes, BigQuery is available, but you have to pay money to Microsoft. Here we provided a solution without spending any money to anybody. We are doing it for our own. You can find here the functions I have created, the Python functions I created to achieve. MCP servers related program that I have created. It's a very simple program. You don't have to get too much of worry on that. The MCP server I have created over here to connect with the Git server or BigQuery server or MySQL server. This is a very simple code you can consider. Get connection function. I'm going to use all my host name, port number, and everything that I have kept over in my environment file. I'm not directly passing. I'm having that in my environment, so no one can see the username and password. I'm having run SQL function. I'm having connection establishment function. So if I go and ask, hey, can you go and help me run the SQL? It will go and run the SQL whatever I pass as an input parameter. That's what have happened. Select count of star from the table, from the MySQL table. So I'm just telling what, hey, there are multiple tools I'm going to give you. One is a MySQL run query. Another is a MySQL get schema. Another is MySQL get null rates. MySQL get statistics. MySQL count duplicate. Like I have given multiple functions to you. Use those functions. Call the tools. MCP server, help me call the tools. When the agent asks you to call, calculate the count duplicates, you go and run the count duplicates. But who is making the decision? Agent. Here the agent have told what? He did not ask you to call the count the duplicates. He did what? Schema mismatch is run. Why? Using the CloudDB endpoint, you developed MCP servers. I created an agent in cloud to use the MCP service, which is naturally available in the cloud platform. But this is not cloud. This is on-prem. I'm totally using this in my local system. We don't have cloud used here. I'm going to pull the data from cloud, but I'm not using the agents in cloud. I'm using the local agents. These are all completely homegrown local agents. These are all homegrown agents that we develop. Parthiban. This is where the Python knowledge you have to gather to develop the agents. Okay, take it like the one whatever I have shown is cloud. That is different. The cloud one is something like which I have shown for a flavor of the cloud. You have to know like yes, through cloud also we can develop agents. We should not always think we have to write this entire code. We can have the built-in cloud agents also available, but I did not use the cloud agents. I'm using my local agent. How a agentic code looks like this. So the call tool, I'm going to say call the respective tool. Whatever my agent is deciding, you want to call that respective. So now what happened is the agent have realized, oh, there is a count mismatch between, based on that he is making a decision. This is the very important concept of agentic. Agent makes autonomous decisions. The AI makes decision. This is how he's making the decision to do what? Rather than calling the duplicate check agent or data quality agent, he's calling the schema mismatch agent. Why? When the source data is more, target data is less, it's more of a schema issue. Right? Then it is producing me some response of what happened, and it is producing me some input saying like, hey, because based on the data I saw, like you can go and do some root cause analysis of why there is a data loss. The data loss can be because of some code issue or filters that you used or some schema issue. You go and check that like this. He is going and suggesting So with this code, we will wait for a while. I'll take you to one more major problem what organization faces. One is a data quality issue. This is a data quality issue. Source has more data, target has less data. We have to go and analyze why it is like that. That is the next problem what organization face. That is called what? Root cause analysis. I'm going to do an RCA activity now on top of this data. So for that, I'm going to do what? I'm going to ask, hey, my vectorizer, you go and collect the data from the code from Git, write it into our local vector DB. Now I'm using RAG here. I'm going to say what? Hey, I will give you the repository where my code is present. This is my repository, right? Where my code is present, I have the repository. In this repository, can you go and collect all the code and put it in our Chroma DB, in our local database? Can you pull all the code related to the IPython notebook? IPython notebook can you pull? Can you pull the SQL queries? Can you pull the Python scripts? Whatever I wrote in my GitHub repository. For this, I created one. Through what he will go and connect. He'll use what to connect with the GitHub repository. He'll use the GitHub MCP server. There is a GitHub MCP server is running. Using this GitHub MCP server, he'll go and connect to my Git repository. And it will go and clone that Git repository. He'll go and pull the clone repository, or it will go and find the commit history. He'll go and list the files from the repository. He'll read the file content from the repository. I have created multiple tools for that. So I created an MCP service and provided multiple tools inside that MCP service. So my agent is going to use any of these tools in that MCP service to go and pull the respective program, respective code from the Git repository by using the respective Python function. So now I'm telling what I go and pull all the files matching with this criteria, create a chunk size of, don't break the code, 1200 characters of a code you bring in one single object, one single chunk. Like this, I'm giving some values over here, I'm controlling the values over here. I'm going to pull and create a local repository of my Git code, whichever is in the internet. I'm going to pull that. I'm going to pull that and I'm going to write it in my local. In my local, I'm writing. In my local vector DB, I wrote this code now. The code got successfully pulled. 7 files got pulled. Total chunks of 11 got created. Now I'm going to say what? Hey, okay, I got the code now. I got my data quality program run. The agent have run completed. Now I'm going to do what? I'm going to calculate the root cause analysis of why the data issue. I have a code in my hand. I have the data in my other hand. So now I'm going to compare. Already by running the program, he generated some root cause analysis. AI have generated some root cause analysis. In fact, the additional 5 rows in the source is because of the schema mismatch issue. Or it could be because of the where class that you are using. You are filtering the data by applying the where class, right? This is the problem. You remove this where class, you will get the right value generator. So now I'm going to use my code what has been brought in. The code whatever I have brought in from here, right? This code I'm going to say, let me use the code to analyze. So he's properly giving me the code even. Which code you have the problem? It is telling what the top search. I realize this is your code. I have though multiple same kind of code, but it is going with an like an indexing mechanism, ranking mechanism. I have the same code. You can see here. You can see here, not this one. Where's my repository? This one, right? This repository. You can find here. I have 3 codes over here. But my table is what? My table is something called the settlement transaction is the source table and the GL transaction is the target table. So he's properly identifying. Irfan, the settlement transaction is your source table and the GL transaction is your target table, right? This is the top code that I'm identifying for you. So I'm going to check here what is the code that made a mistake. It is giving me the code where the mistake is there, where the filter is there. The power of AI, what we are seeing in the data engineering world, applying all the concept of multi-agents. Multiple agents are working here. One agent is collecting the data. One agent is orchestrating. Let me go and run for a different table, duplicate table. Source contains less data, target contains more data because the data got loaded twice. Duplicate data got loaded in the target. Let's assume we have a table like this in the source and target. Let's see. Source table contains some 21 records, but the target table contains more records than 21. How many records? 32 records we have in the target. This also can happen in the data engineering world, right? Source may have less, target may have more. You can see here now. The target has more. If I run this tool, it is going to run the code between the source and the target. The agent 1 is running, agent 2 is running. Both are collecting the data by using the MCP server from the source and the target database. And the orchestrator agent is orchestrating them. Run both of the agent you run first. Then the orchestrator agent is telling, based on the data that you identified, if the target has more data, you don't run what? Schema mismatch agent you don't run. You run the duplicate check agent. Now that has run, you are finding this. The agent is deciding autonomously. This is called agentic. You are able to understand what is agentic now, slowly. Agent is a service that make decisions accordingly, autonomously. It is of its own. That's the reason we are building an agent. Agentic solution, why it is famous nowadays in the AI world? Because of this reason. So he is identifying now, hey, the problem is the root cause analysis. You can go and find what they are telling. The duplicate check agent have run because the target is having more data than source. That could be a possible reason the duplicate run might have happened. And it is going to give me the code. If I go to the RCA agent, it is going to give me the code related to that other code that I have used. It is not showing the same code. It is showing the duplicate code here. Are you finding this? Earlier, we did not see this code. We saw just the ingestion code. We did not saw duplicate. Now we have the table called duplicate table considered here because that is the power of the search what it is making. I should not have to go and refer a wrong code, right? How long it will take? If there is some issue occurred, to find the code and to go and resolve that code issue, it will take very long time, right? But he is providing you the code. He is providing you the issue, why occurred. Check the pipeline scheduler logs for duplicate runs. There is a chance your pipeline might have run duplicate. Verify the table write mode, whether you are using insert, merge or update or append or overwrite. If you use append, there is a chance for duplicate. Add a deduplication logic, otherwise it is suggesting everything. LLM is suggesting everything. This is the next generation of data engineering. You are just seeing this on the fly we created. No, it takes time. It takes time for iteration. AI will not give you the exact result what you expect always, right? You need to have a lot of things added on top of it to make it more happening, more proper. Pretty interesting tool, team. Do you agree or not? I'm just doing some data quality check. The data quality check varies based on the table that we use. For example, I have created one more scenario. I'm having one more table that contains the same count in the target. You see here, this table I'm going to have the same count in the target. Source contains the same count. Target also contains 21 records. In this case, how agent is behaving, let's go and see. In this case, the agent is going to behave in such a way. I don't do schema mismatch check. I don't do duplicate check. But I do some deep data quality check. Though the data matches, the column number of records matches, I can't stop with that. He's telling now. The columns may number of records match, but whether the column data matches, whether the data between the both tables matching or not, I wanted to compare the data also. 100% matches happen, great. But it is telling what? Reconciliation detected the row count variance of 0, but however, you can go and do some more analysis on this data in the RCA side, in the root cause analysis side. There is a chance, right? Some data type conversion issues may be there. Some data may be truncating. You go and check that Irfan. Inspect the column transformation and schema mismatch or typecasting issue you may have, though the count matches. First level you pass, but the second level there is a chance. Some data truncation might happen. So you go and analyze the code. This is a DQ code. It is showing now a different code, not that old code. It is showing now that there is a table called DQ table, right? Go and check whether you are properly formatting the columns and all, whether you are going with the proper transformation functions, whether the transformation can create some problem or not, you go and check. And very interesting, one more component is the lineage generator. I have something called a lineage generator in the bottom. You can go and scan our code and generate the lineage for understanding how the code works. Pretty interesting story. Pretty interesting component. One of the need of the market. I want to know this table, raw transactions is loaded from which source table? What is the code that we have used for loading this table? What is the column mapping that we have? These are all the generated content by our agent. Lineage is the big problem in the organization, data engineering world. I want to know, hey, this column called the ingestion timestamp is created by how? It is being created by using the current timestamp column. Okay, I want to know about the bronze layer, the silver layer, how we have got. I just had a case statement here. I want to see the complete case statement. This is the expression that we have used. It is helping me understand the code in a lineage format, in a visual format. This lineage builder, I'm creating from where? I'm telling, hey, bring the code from the GitHub repository and help me build a lineage builder by using abstract syntax tree kind of tool and all. The SQL GLOT and NetworkX graph analysis tool you use, the functionalities you use behind the scenes, some Python libraries you use, and help me build this lineage builder. And in addition to that, I don't want to go to my Git and analyze my code. I wanted to see in my code, this is the power of using what? The RAG. I'm telling what, hey, can you show me which are the code I have joins used? Can you go and scan the vector DB and find in my code where and all I have joins? You're seeing joins. You are seeing joins here. Joins here. Can you show me where and all I have used the user-defined functions in my code? This is the code I brought from where? From the GitHub. In the next level of data engineering, slowly you are getting it. Slowly you are getting it. This is an icebreaker session for that one only. In this code where I don't have to go to the code and analyze 1,000 lines of code. I can simply ask a question, or I don't have to even ask a question. It's a predefined thing I created. By saying, hey, bring the code. If I want to push some more code here, and if I just click a button, it will pull all the code and itemize, categorize. Temp tables where and all used, I want to see. I want to see where and all user-defined functions are used. Next generation of AI, next generation of data engineering and AI. This is what the requirement of the market going forward. Okay, on top of this, I wanted to just do some AI governance and data masking analytics. I want to apply some data security. I want to do some governance, tagging of this data, classification of this data, whether it contains personal information, like restricted information or a kind of a confidential information. Do I have go and scan the table? This GL transaction table contains some important column which requires masking. If so, give me the masking code. I'm asking. All this because of what? I created an MCP server. This guy is using the MCP server to collect and get some information, and it is applying the LLM brain to show the response. All are done by whom? The agent. Agent, I'm telling the agent, can you go and use the MCP server, connect with MySQL database or SQL Server database or some system, collect the information, apply LLM brain to give me some input of saying, give me some, he's doing some thought, back and forth thought he's doing. He's just running some program. He's telling what is fun. Let me go and run this and complete it. Final answer. It is giving something like this, but there is some issue is occurring here. It seems. Let me try once. Try to pass masking JSON, masking plan JSON. Okay. Let me see this. So I'm telling collect the data from this table and give me the masking plan. What are all the personally identified information data? Apply the masking rule and give me the masking query. Masking PySpark program even I can ask. I need the following: fetch 5 records, analyze the column, determine the data set classification, domain purpose and everything. But it is failing in between for some reason. Okay, GL transactions underscore. Let me try with some other table over here quickly. Otherwise we'll close. Okay, let me use this gateway transaction and see whether it works. So I want to collect the data from here and see what are all the columns required masking. Okay, but future will be like this probably. Yes, true. True. Future is going to be AI applied. Okay, pretty interesting component. Maybe having some problem. It uses AI token, right? So I did not tested this finally before I present it for our presentation. Okay, now we are at 7:30 days. Okay, we'll go and quickly have the next round of activity performed. I'll stop showing the projects over here. I'll share some of this information to you, like you guys can make use as well. I want to quickly show some interesting tools that Inceptus have built in a recent period of time, which you guys can make use of for your learning, for your even the career purpose. Okay, I just wanted to take an opportunity here to show you guys the tool what we have built. Then we'll take 15 minutes of our time to show our private cloud data center, and you guys can go with Q&A. I'm okay to extend my time even additional 15 minutes or half an hour for resolving your questions if you guys have related to your the carry related or related to your technology or anything else I can address related to this workshop. Even you can ask the question, I can help you address. Okay, I'll take 10 minutes of the time quickly to finish this part, then we'll go to the next level. Okay, so this guy, let him run, we'll see. Okay, and I want to show one more project also, how we are using multi-model AI to do some build digitalization in our private cloud data center, right? This I'll show you as well. Wait for a while, but listen to these tools what we have developed. Okay, for example, if you wanted to learn the concept of AI very easy, basic concepts of AI very easy, we have developed some tool under our Inceptus Labs in the name called Play AI. So what is the concept of these agents? We want to know. I'm going to ask, first of all, some input I'm going to give. What is the top 5 customers? The raw prompt I'm giving. So it is going to convert the prompt into a meaningful understanding. It is creating it as a token. The NLP, natural language processing and natural language understanding, is running behind the scene to understand your natural language. Then it is going to pass that natural language understand output to my analyzer agent. Then it is passing that to the LLM brain and the RAG engine to go and get the information of what Irfan is asking, top 5 customer information. So it is going to pass that to the RAG. The RAG is going to produce the vector output. That vector output, the LLM is going to convert it into meaningful response. You can play and understand all this concept and all in a much easy fashion. You can go and see. Then I'm going to say what I generate the output. The LLM is going to generate the response, but the output, the response has to be in the form of output, in a meaningful output, what people can understand. So I just got the output generated in the form of some text or in the form of some visualization. You want to understand the concept of this multi-agents, how they work behind the scene. You can use this Play tool, or you can use a tool called, you can go and download a certificate in the last. When you see, we are having this multiple stages of whatever we can do with different options. You can go and try, and you will be having a certificate download in the last by giving your name. Let me quickly show you. So how to learn by playing in Japan kind of country and all, people used to learn by playing games like this. Physical games I'm talking about, but we are using at least a digital game here, not a physical game. Okay, I'm going to try something else. So you are becoming a prompt engineer, knowing how to do the prompting. But however, if you progress further, you are going to get a certificate downloaded ultimately by giving your name. So master the LLM engine to unlock download. So you play by spending some time. You'll try to use this as an environment to learn. So we'll be giving you the certificate downloaded, automatic certification you can download. So Irfan, I'm going to download my certificate. Like this, we are having some sort of like solutions provided for your consideration. Okay. You can just make use of this environment for that purpose. So you can see here my GenAI certificate we got downloaded. Like this, you can go and have some game played in our tools and make use of it. Then apart from that, we have some tool like Simply AI. We have some tool developed called Simply AI. Right? So here it is going to help you learn the concept of AI very easily. Like you can go and just drag and drop. What is the raw input? I'm going to give some I love AI, the raw input. And then I'm going to chop that into piece by doing tokenization. Then I'm going to get the result in the form of tokens. This is what happened behind the scene in the AI. I'm doing some sentiment analysis, how to do that. So you can go and play all this by using these tools. Apart from this, play PY we have. You want to understand your Python knowledge as a beginner or as an intermediate or as an expert. What is the output of this exponent? 3 into 3. It is not 2 into 3. It is 2 to the power of 3. Like this, you can go and make use of these tools and all. In our Inceptors labs, we'll share that post our completion of the session in the link. I'll share the links of whatever we have. Apart from this, very importantly, we are having a tool for building your resume. Very, very important tool. Very, very interesting tool as well. Okay. What is my need, guys? I may have to reformat my current resume, which is not in a good format. Maybe let me open some resume that we have. I have some sample resume. My current resume, whatever I have, is not in a good format. Let's assume Spark AWS development, 7 years. I'm a Spark AWS developer, but this resume looks, like very much clumsy and very much what to say, like not in a bit interesting fashion. Right? It's having 4 pages. The last page seems to be truncated like this. I wanted to make this resume furnished, made reformatted. I want to see a different flavor of my resume. So we built an AI tool for that. It's our Inceptors. It's in our Inceptors labs. You can go and make use of or make all this application on our resume, extraction of the text, analysis, and upgrade of our resume in a better format, polishing the resume with final section. The rule-based code engine and the AI engine is working together behind the scene to achieve this. So you are going to ultimately see your resume in a beautiful format. You can reformat that further. You want to remove something, add something, you can do the section. So you don't require any other. This we are giving for free of cost to our people. Polishing the resume, we are finding the final state of a resume. You want to change the color of the resume. So the name is being given as XXX because I commented the name here of our aspirant. So you can go and give some name as Irfan. You are getting this resume generator. What is the role of this guy? Senior architect or whichever. And I wanted not this format. I wanted it in a different color. Or I wanted it in a modern technical fashion, modern stack, tech stack, or creative purple stack, or in a academic elite stack. I want to create a resume like this with all these aspects. You can go and get it created. So with this resume built, whatever I have made, from the clumsy format to a better format, I'm going to maybe do some magical operation here. What is that magical operation? With this experience level, right? How much package I can get, I want to know. We have some magical tools added here. Create some LinkedIn bio for me. LinkedIn, I wanted to mention something like about me. It will go and give you some LinkedIn bio for me. It's a AI generated output. What is the salary insight I can get for this package, for this experience? So you can expect almost in Chennai, Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad, this is the package you can expect for this experienced candidate by in general. As per the ambition box, Glassdoor and all, you can find senior analyst can get to the 10 years of experience. This package is in an average. I want to get some job opening related to this experience and this particular skill. It is going to collect the job openings on the fly. Top 3 job openings we are right now displaying. You can make use of this for applying the job directly. Some of the AI-based solution that we are building. Okay, you can see this is the job opening. What you have, direct application link. You can go and use this link to apply for the job. You can go and use this link to apply for a job. With me, team. This is one of the interesting tools that we have built. In addition to that, a very, very important tool. You have to consider this. Whoever don't know about this tool, you have to consider this. Something called an Elevate tool. So you can go here and you can find the Elevate career track. For this, you need a login. So you have to log in with the Google account. We'll give you the student access for that. You can make use of this. Very importantly, get what you know. You are going to build your entire career component over here to address a lot of interview questions. Then ultimately it can be transformed to a resume also. I'm going to get a resume built on top of this. Whatever I have entered about myself, I'm going to convert that into a resume even. You are not going to put your work in vain. So if you are going to be some experienced person with some relevant experience, automatically it will identify. So I go with 7 years, it will say put 4 years of relevant experience in the GCP cloud or Azure cloud or whichever. So it will give you all the input about how do you go and get ready to answer the interview question of tell me about yourself. It will give you an input about what are the data management techniques that you work with. So you can have some reference content open here and you can insert that content here for your reference. Then mark this task as completed. We are storing this in our database for your easy reference. Once again, if you come back to this tool, you can able to see what are the content that you have added already. What are all the ecosystems that you are aware of? Or we have some AI roles also added, or AI component also added here. Daily roles and responsibilities of a Databricks data engineer, GCP data engineer, Azure data engineer, or whoever. AI data engineer. What is the roles and responsibilities? The roles and responsibility of a data engineer is deployed highly scalable RAG search architecture or engineered agentic AI with LangChain. Like this, I'm adding all this here. Mark this as complete. So this will be reflected in your resume. We are given a reference over here. Brainstorm project name. Yeah, I want to put some good project name. You can go and use our AI credits to achieve that. I want to put some project on, product strategies. Something like this. I'm going to put a AI-based project name. I want to get a suggestion. I can use this tool to get that. So it is telling a lot of AI-based suggestions related to the domain that I have chosen. Automated clinical trial data validation, regulatory compliance pipeline, unified longitudinal patient record and interoperability framework. I worked on this project because I chosen what domain? Healthcare and life science domain. If I choose a different domain, it will give a different project for me. Like this, I have a very good tool developed over here for your career propagation. What is the project definition? It will give. Since I used AI engineering and all, it's giving all this. All this is suggested practice that you can follow to build your entire, your entire information about yourself. You can use this to attend interviews. You can go and say, hey, I am a so-and-so person. I have worked in these techniques, data munging, data deduplication technique, null handling technique, standardization technique. I have this much project challenges faced and I provide the resolution in this way. You can go and see the multiple project challenges and resolution I have already kept over here. If you are not enough with this, you can go and create by using the AI solution. It will give you the challenges and based on your experience, based on your, whatever the input that you have given, it will go and build. I created an Unity catalog, like whichever is applicable for you, use it. Whichever is not applicable for you, don't use it. So copy, I insert all these results here. What are the challenges you faced? What are all the solution you provided for that? What are the packaging and deployment tool that you have used? What are all the packaging you did? Why you are having this project in big data? What is the cluster size that you have for different system, AWS or GCP or on-prem or Databricks? Pretty interesting tool. So launch this in the Resumify. Go to the Resumify and add all this content in the resume. You get a resume build out of it. This tool plays a very important role for your career development program. Okay, this is all about our tooling. Okay, I'll stop here for a while. I'll stop for a minute of time. I'll take you guys very quickly, maybe in another 10 minutes of the 15 minutes of the time period, we'll try to close our discussion, right, about this workshop, right? I just talked about this one. I'm going to take you guys to our private cloud data center. I'm going to take you to our data center and show you guys what we are doing in our data center to run some heavyweight AI components and all. Why now the data center culture is being developed? Are you aware of data center culture is developed nowadays in the market? So you have to know about why the data center culture is developed. So for that, let me show you one very quick, like component I'll open and I'll show you guys running it. Okay. So we have our own local build digitalizer project running for one of our clients. This is one of our valuable client. I can't show the entire builds and all what we are developing for them, but at least I have a mock build over here. I changed the name of the company. Here I have our actual client company. Okay, one of the very good client we have got a project. So this project, this I have changed everything, marked the values of the bill. So what we can do out of this project is, I'm not interested in talking about this project. I'm showing you how we are using our local data center that we have built for running these AI workloads. So we have our own data center built here. How companies are building, this is a culture now developed in the market. The local data center culture. We are in progress of provisioning the data center to them. There are companies are approaching us for building the data center like this for their organizations. Okay, so let me show you quickly. Let this application open. You can find I have an option to choose whether my local computer I want to use my AI model or I want to use it in my Inceptus private cloud. Inceptus private cloud, if I go, I can increase my CPU cores to more numbers. This is our Inceptus private cloud monitoring system that John will explain you more in detail even. We have our hosts running. We have our multiple like resources packed over here. You can see here 48 cores of processor, 64 GB of RAM running in one of the hosts. Like this, we have multi-host rack built. Real rack means not rag. Rack we build. Bare metal racks we build. John will explain about this to you. He is managing this rack and all. So we have storage, network, and every component set in our local rack. We'll go and show you this component in our big screen. Wait for a while. Just give 10 more minutes to get this finished. So if we go and run this pipeline in our Inceptus private cloud or in our local environment, the data is going to be collected from the bills are going to be collected from our input location, and it is going to produce an output in a form of, let me check whether the server is in a running state or some other process is running. I'll check and run this. You can go and increase this GPU cores or the CPU threads and everything. We can improve and we can increase and we can run this process with the latest Lemma 3.1 model. I'm having a model called Lemma 3.1. We are having some optical character recognition made on the digital bills, on the physical bills collected from our client. We are running that through our AI agent, AI service, and we are converting that into the digital format. So basically, I am going to get a bill generated and 1,000 numbers by big companies. There are a lot of challans bills will be given in the organization, right? That's a big problem. What most of the companies are facing in the market is converting the bills into digital format. Then only they can go and analyze this bill, whether the payment is made or not, and all this information. So if we go and see here, this bill, whatever we had, has been parsed by our AI engine. Don't think this is very simple to achieve. Don't think you can able to achieve this very simply. This is a very, very bigger solution that we have provided. And this is not the complete version of the software I'm showing. We have an actual version of the software separately. Because of the copyright issue, I did not show that. Because this is for our real client we have built. So you can see here in our Inceptus private cloud, I am able to run this and produce the result. It is doing the extraction of the detailed information of the bill. You can able to find this bill has been parsed by our engine. But this bill is in a image format or in a not in a text format. It can be an image even. It will be processing. Multi-model we are using here. We are using Gemini model for identifying the image. Then we are using our local model. We are using Lemma 3.2 vision model for parsing this and producing the result. OCR engine we are using. Optical character recognition we are using. Like there is a big architecture we are using here. I can't reveal that architecture, but you know, like this is one of the software that we have built and which is running in our data center. What's the purpose of our data center? Okay, John, I hope you are available, right, to take forward. Okay, team, after John explains our data center and about our orchestration layer and all what we are using in our data center to run our AI models and all, you guys can go with your questions. We can extend 15 more minutes of the time to go with those kind of Q&A and all. Okay, let me just go and show you guys how we are running our like AI models. Okay, in our rack. I wanted to take you guys to our data center too. Okay, let us go and do that. Yes. We can have without the like our external screen, like let it be, or I'm not sharing my screen right now. Let us use our camera to see all this. Okay, I'll open up our camera. One second. Yeah, I hope like both our team are able to see the Google Meet and our this team are able to see our local data center like this. Okay, great. Yeah. So yeah, John, over to you. Yes.
Hello everyone.
Yeah, yes, you are listening.
So what I was just a bit unprepared, and so what are we? What Irfan is trying to? I just recently joined. I maybe 5 minutes back only. I just joined this section. So what are we trying to build here is basically an indigenous cloud prototype. Okay, so you guys have seen this Amazon EC2, the Azure Compute, the virtual machines. You guys have seen the we've seen the Google's compute engine and all that. So those kinds of things you have seen. Those are all basically the public clouds that we already have. And you go there, you run your data engineering workloads, big data processing systems, the AI systems, and all that. Now, this is an initiative. What we are trying to do is, that in the last 1 or 2 years, so-called 2 years, I think the cost of cloud and the usage due to the LLM inferencing in the cloud, particularly that has taken a lot of companies' budget into a swipe. So we, in the last 2 years or maybe 3 years, we are trying to build something which is nearly an equivalent to what AWS EC2 can offer, or maybe Azure Compute Infrastructure can offer. So we are trying that kind of setup for the last 2-3 years, and we are now matured implementation done. We are nearly 70 to 80%. We can claim that we have tried to build something which is a private indigenous cloud implementation. In this, we have built the hardware that is required to run our workloads, particularly for this AI-based things and all that. We need a lot of hardware, GPUs and CPU cores. So we have done these kinds of rack building, and in these racks, we have Type 1 bare metal hypervisors flashed in all the hardware. And what we are trying to do with that hardware is basically we are trying to deploy Kubernetes. Okay, so we have the Docker OCI containers being executed across this hardware, across distributed Kubernetes cluster. In that Kubernetes, we are actually running the Llama models and the Llama Vision models, and we have the Gemma models and all the Ollama-based model runners. DeepSeek models. So there are some bigger models which have a lot of parameters difference and all that. So we are trying those kinds of models also inside this, and with a zero cost. That is one of the important things. So we as a company save a lot of money by avoiding cloud, and we are running things on our own. Okay, and we have built and automated all those things with our toolkits and our own indigenous tools and all that. So that's how we build, automate all these things inside this. And this is a more of an experiment, and I think we are nearly 70 to 80% of that. I think this is what we have done.
So can you please show this? Maybe Kim, you might have heard about something called rack and all in the Amazon or in the GCP kind of cloud environment, right? This is how a data center looks like really. Okay, we formed a kind of a two rack component over here with all the necessary architectures and all implemented in terms of like following the zonal approach or failover services and everything we have implemented over here. So
Basically, you guys have in this AWS and all, you have that availability zones, the regions, and all that, right? So what we are trying to simulate here is this is one thing which is a part of India Chennai region, and the Velachery is basically an availability zone. In the future, we will be trying to create more availability zones outside Velachery, and that will be called as India Chennai 1A, something like that. And so we can expand this. So this is a bit of a scalable prototype. What we have done is not a full-scale DC. It is a scalable prototype in which we can, once we are successful with the prototype, this can be brought as a solution, as a product, which is nearly an equivalent to the public clouds like the AWS and Azure and all that. Okay, so this is how this is extensible and elastic. As we had more storage, hardware, GPUs, and all that, so we will have the machines performing like that. So that is how we are just mapping the equivalent terminologies of the AWS Azure cloud infrastructure with our infrastructure, and that's how we built. And Kubernetes is running on this, and inside that Kubernetes, we are running the Docker OCI pod containers, which is running the AI inferencing systems and all.
Okay. So whatever the AI service that we ran, right, that is in this rack.
Yeah, it's coming from here.
We can go there to with the UI of. See, Tim, I'll just take you to our like a kind of a visual room over, right, where you can go and find how like our Zen orchestra we are using for orchestrating all this. Yeah, Jen, you can go on. Yes, you can explain. No, you are.
Okay. So hi team. So what we have built there, it's a MVP or a prototype, and here if you want to access these kinds of things, you need to have a proper dashboard consoles and all that, right? So to control that, we have built certain control nodes there, and we are trying to access it here. So this is basically the type 1 I think the bare metal hypervisor technology which was flashed there. It was a technology that was used by the Amazon EC2 long back. It's called Zen server, and this is the open source Zen server version. And you can see here we trying to simulate this the indigenous cloud prototyping by converting those racks into pools. Okay, so basically pools is a set of hardware. You can see here we have the naming conventions like India Chennai Rack 1, so 1A Rack 1, so something like that and all. You can find the namings and all. So if you click that one, you will be able to see the list of hosts that is here, that is listed here. As of now, one rack we have started, other rack is still just a stop state, and you can find that those nodes are listed here. This is the master server, worker server, and inside that we are running the Kubernetes virtual machine. So the models that Irfan was trying to inference and get the output, that is basically running from this kind of native indigenous data center hardware. And if you see here, this basically when you wanted to know that implementation, why we build that, and we deploy large-scale Kubernetes. And in that Kubernetes, you can find the DeepSeek pod containers running here, and you can find the DeepSeek coder, the Ollama Gemma models, and the Llama models and all that. So this is basically a Kubernetes interface, dashboard user interface, where we are running all those, and also we are running some data streaming workloads like the Kafka controllers and the broker. Basically, a 6-node Kafka cluster is also running. So it is all exposed inside inside this infrastructure using the microservice endpoint in the Kubernetes. So you can run all those things. The developers can develop AI-based systems by getting the microservice access, and they can have a high performing AI-based models tested here in-house with this kind of system. So it's all basically automated, and it's all into the Kubernetes, Ansible, and you can see this Kubernetes cluster deployment has been done by Ansible, and we use Packer-based tools to build the VM-based images. So that is how we build this kind of a data center grade Kubernetes implementation at a kind of a better scale. And we are trying to implement more GPU related things to our virtual machines. So we are trying to add more GPUs. As of now, we have a bit of a very simple performing GPU installed in the machine, and we will be adding more GPU related cards into that so that we will get a better performance for our AI models.
Great, great. Thanks for that explanation. So team, as per our plan, right, we will go with a very quick round of like Q&A, right? Either if you guys have any questions, right? I know like we are on top of that. I don't wanted to drag for more time from now, right? So we got two items pending, right? One is having some sort of open panel discussion with myself and John, right? We will go with that next. But before that, if you have any questions, right, related to anything that you have in terms of infrastructure or platform or AI or BI or data engineering or about software engineering or even about the carrier related questions that you have, right? And in fact, like we are enabling all this and all in a form of like courses. If you have any questions in all this aspect, right, you can feel free to ask, right? We will help you address with the best of our knowledge what you have, right? So any questions do you have before we go for some very quick round of the panel discussion by myself and John? Yes, you're audible. No, can you please be louder? I'm not able to hear you very clearly. Yeah. Better now, but still, yeah. Yes, go ahead, please. Hmm. Hmm. Yes, 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 yes. Obviously, yes. Obviously, yes. But just think like this, right? If I want to connect with some cloud service, right? I just wanted to leverage a cloud agent to just provide some sort of specific requirement. Whatever I did is I just used cloud service for connecting with Git. Then the same Git I connected from the local. Which one is more cost effective is the one what I connected from the local. But still, I wanted to bring some flavor of using the cloud agent. That's the reason I have shown you that. Okay, it's not about like, yes, obviously we had to go in a region specific, region agnostic. It should not be like a multi-region or it should not be local and cloud. But there are some services which will be offered much better in some environment, so we can tap that. See, for example, we are using OpenAI model, we are using Claude model in our some of the projects. We are using even Gemini models, whichever is going to be more cost effective, more performant, and more like kind of what to say, like accurate. Accordingly, we'll be using the model. So it doesn't mean like you have to stay with one model. You don't have to stay with one agent running in one environment. That's what I wanted to show you, right? Multi-cloud, multi-agent.
Mhm. This one, can you hear me?
Correct. Correct. See, when you will go with this kind of scenarios, for example, I'll tell you, okay, you have a cloud function, okay, the cloud function is going to get some file or based on that it is going to be get triggered, or based on some trigger that happened in the source side, it is going to get triggered, okay. The cloud function is going to trigger an AI agent. That AI agent is going to do some analysis on the cloud environment, and it is going to provide a response to you, not to you, to your local agent to do some further activity from there. Let's assume we have such kind of handshake mechanism wanted to get created. So we don't have our local agent always get informed by the cloud function. It's because cloud function can't able to talk outside of cloud. It will inform the cloud agnostic agent. From the cloud agnostic agent, it will connect to the local agent, and the complete seamless connection will be established over there. With me? This is a scenario I'm just talking. When do we go for both cloud agent and the online agent? Yeah, it varies based on the scenario, but you need to have some eye opener here, right? What is it? I can use both on-prem agent and the cloud agent. It can speak with each other. Multi-cloud agent we can use. One service I may be using in one cloud, another service I may use in another cloud. So this agent should speak each other. You should not think like agent is very much agnostic to only one system. It can speak outside of the system also. That's the reason behind why I brought this. Okay, with me? Yeah. But considering the cost and other factor, yes. As you asked, that is correct. Yes, go ahead. Yeah. That is where we have the orchestrator agent, right? Which we can use. See, if you want to connect one level lower with kind of a multi-agentic and all, you can go with the LangSmith, the LangGraph. So you were asking about the swarm of agents has to be speak with each other, right? The swarm of agent can be connected with LangSmith. Yes, LangSmith is one level above than LangChain and the LangGraph. No. LangSmith has the feature of having the swarm of agents connected. Or you can go for CrewAI also. That also has a support rendered now. Okay, yeah, great. So how to maintain the long chat histories? We will be using the like memory tuning mechanism for that Krishna. We'll be using a kind of in-memory components like Redis or such kind of component, at least in my project and all I'm telling. But this is always a problem what we have, but we have to use some in-memory technique for making our LangChain or LangGraph retain the memory. So we'll be having one more agent who maintains that information, and from there we'll be collecting the, like whatever the long context and all that we are going to use. But we have a context limit. We will be using either a model, that model does not, that has a very lesser context limit, or we'll be using the in-memory database to store and reiterate by having the chunks created between them. With me, Raksha? Okay. How many servers and CPU cores that we have in our data center? We have almost 6 servers. Okay. Overall, if you consider the total number of cores is 200 plus cores. But we have started only 25% of it so far. With me? So this like server is useful for us to go and run heavyweight models and all in our data center. We are running some of the client models also in our data center, so that requires it actually. Any more questions, team? Okay, I will go with some common questions what people used to have, right? Most of it in this group are from data engineering platform. To change our career to the AI engineer, what is the steps leveraging the existing models and the learning of LLM basics should help? From basics should help. See, obviously, the big challenge what people have in the market is from the data engineering or from any field, they don't know only one thing. What is it, how to integrate their current system with the AI is the only big gap what people have. They know how to work in AI, or they know how to work in their system. Marrying these two is a big challenge what every people are facing. They always think about what, okay, if I have to do some work, I have to know how to use Claude or OpenAI or ChatGPT or Gemini to just get some code generated, and I put that and run, and it will be producing me the output. No, it's not like that.
we have provided you a input of how we are using AI in an interconnected fashion to speak here and there with each other to produce the outcome is the one what we were showing as a kind of an use cases and project is to break the ties of what you had in your mind. So implementation of both is not going to be so easy. Amalgamating or getting the use cases of the data engineering or data analytics or any other services and applying that in the AI system is not going to be a very direct solution. It is a next generation of IT. It is going to take years of time to get a maturity state. So that the prototype of or some of the sampling of those we have shown today. But we have a lot of open gaps or gray area in that to explore. That's where we are providing our, we are repositioning our training model and all nowadays to implement these kind of solutions. Along with the data engineering, we are giving weightage to data engineering primarily. Then we are adding more of the AI solutioning on top of it, as per the current market need. Last batch we started and we propagated in the AI side because of we wanted to provide a solution in adding the data engineering along with the AI solution. With me, Manoj Kumar. So the thing is, what I'm telling, we have to reposition ourselves to think in the aspect of AI also, adding on top of what we are doing in the data engineering side or any other side that we are in. That's the need of the market as well. Okay, yeah. Anything else you have, guys? Could you please suggest the particular area of the AI as a data engineer where we need to focus more to elevate our career as a data engineer, AI data engineer. See, obviously, whatever we have seen today are all more fully important for the AI data engineer to become. You have to know about the core concepts of AI, how to connect the dots, like RAG we need, how to set up the vector DB or graph DB is needed, how to go and write agents to go and connect with the data engineering component is needed more efficiently, how the prompt engineering technique, context engineering technique is working. We have to know about that. We have to know about how to connect with MCP services, how to use which type of model we have to use for what purposes in a more efficient fashion, whether a local model or a cloud-based model, what our friend was asking, how to use the model gardens and all, to use the respective model, multi-model as per the need basis in a more efficient fashion, how to use the context and all in a very right fashion, right, in a very limited or in a kind of the tokenization and all, how we can make use in a more simplified fashion. All these are the requirement of the market, not limited to. Very importantly, the important factor you have to understand here is what tool has to be used for what purpose of data engineering or what purpose of software engineering. That is very important to understand. There are a lot of tools. Daily, a model is getting released. The model parameters we have to know, right? The temperature we have to know, or a lot of other factors, the chunking or chunk overlap kind of factors. Everything we have to know to achieve it. So we have to implement and see all this from a lower level, from a bottom up fashion. Just like that, applying a model is not going to help you. You have to implement with a lot of solutions, lot of scenarios. That will help you to get a maturity state. Just knowing AI alone will not help you. Okay. Yeah. Most of the industry using Claude Code again, agents in that cover during the training session. Yes. Yes. We use Claude as well. Yes. But Claude requires some sort of licensing. That's the thing. Okay. CAMS company in engineering manager data job description, the following statement mentioned: engineering resilient, scalable distributed system to handle petabyte scale of data set with strict SLAs, data availability for priority workloads. Fine, Kumaran. Yes, that is good. Yeah. Any other questions, team? Yes. No, vector DB is common. Okay, yeah. Vector DB, how it is more related to the RAG prototype or the AI prototype is, vector DB is becoming more famous nowadays because of the data is stored in an embedded format, which is more fully used by our, the LLM system, the RAG and the LLM system. The RAG will be searching the data from the vector DB much faster than any other way how it stores. It stores basically. Kind of, yes, you can say like that. But the data will be stored in the form of whatever I have told, in the form of the chunks, in a form of embeddings, right? In a numerical format, it will be stored. The numerical format will be searched by our RAG system and all by using not the, like a lexical search. It will do a semantical search. All other databases will use lexical search basically. The exact value will be searched. Whereas here it will use the, the weightage to search and get the result. Similarity scoring it will do, and it will go and do the similarity comparison, and then it will bring the result. It's a architectural difference between the regular database and the vector DB, which is more applicable for our RAG and the LLM systems. With me? Yeah, great. Yeah. Any other questions, team? Okay. So if you, in between, if you guys have any question, you can ask us. Like maybe we'll go with a very quick round of open panel discussion with myself and John, right? Where John can go with some of the open questions what he had, right? Which is common to our current market world, right? So maybe like we have some sort of like questions like what commonly people used to ask us. Okay, that we will quickly discuss and we can wrap up our session guys in another 10 minutes maybe. Okay, yeah, please, John. Go ahead.
Okay. So most of us have this kind of, I mean, whatever questions which I am trying to represent is mostly what people may have in mind, or maybe I will be having something in the mind, so I'm just trying to reference. The first thing is like the recent layoffs, and the last 2 years itself, we've seen a lot of patterns of ways of layoffs happening. And the impact is mostly it is being attributed to the AI related parts. And then we have certain ways to overcome it. So the AI impact, the overcoming of that, and the job cut. So what is your take about it?
So first of all, to answer whether the AI is impacting our job, obviously yes. Because as we are all aware, like the work whatever we are doing with the 10 people can be done with the help of the 2 AI agents, or maybe like 2-3 AI services. If we go and enable, it can able to do that work. And the code generation, the large language model code generation, or whatever is happening, is now achievable very quickly. Rather than we go and spend a lot of time in achieving it, we can achieve it in a very short span of time by using our AI systems basically, right? So because of all these reasons, as you said, like yes, there is a job, but there is a kind of AI buzz is there in terms of applying in the regular job also, not only for IT people, it is applicable for everyone. The only thing where we have to reposition ourselves is, right, how to dominate the AI, right, by knowing about the terms and the way how it operates behind the scenes. That's the reason I more fully concentrate today on the basics of what is AI is all about, to bring some inspiration and aspirations to our people towards AI. So, and the applying of AI is supposed to be on their own stream, not on somewhere else. Right? We should not be getting worried about saying, hey, if I apply AI and make things automatic. It is not about automation alone. It is more about creating an accurate outcome, improving our business outcome, improving our performance. It has a lot of space actually. If you think in the AI terminology, right, we have a lot of space that can be identified, which are all gray area nowadays in the market. Before somebody else do, if you try to do that right, you will be getting a better grip on it and you can propagate much faster.
So what I can understand from Irfan is saying is, I think what you're saying is, we have to be more oriented to the field in which we are, domain in which we are working, and we have to apply this kind of AI-based skills on this particular, I mean, our domain in which, particularly if I am a data analyst or someone, I have to apply to AI to that particular, or maybe if I'm an infra engineer, I have to apply.
Exactly.
So this is the way how we are.
Correct. And we have to know like what has to be used to apply. Some of our team member asked this question, right? What tools you are suggesting me to use? It is it is applicable as per the need what we have. But one thing what we have to come out of is what like if I know how to use the Claude Code, or how to use our Gemini or LLM or ChatGPT to generate some code and try to apply that, that is not the only aim. Maybe most of people have that in their mindset actually.
So the putting it right means we have to know how to connect it with a proper use case. If we even know master how to use Claude or these kinds of systems, if we still not able to bring it to a proper use case, it's not going to reap any benefit.
Exactly. That's the major thing. We have to bridge the gap between what we are doing and how to use the respective AI components in a responsible fashion. The responsive AI we have to be very much good in understanding.
And then we have this next generation. I think sometimes people talk about the artificial general intelligence, or maybe
AI.
What is the next evolution of AI, or maybe like what kind of programmings and the kind of we need to have this machine learning. Do we need to learn the deep learning or to get into AI? So there's a lot of technical requirements or prerequisites. So what can we do?
So there are two questions you have came across with, right? So one is, what is the future of AI is going to be, right? The future of AI is going to be ultimately not only mimicking the human reasoning and the decision making skills. It is supposed to be a kind of a coordinated human skills. Like it is supposed to know like how to even like coordinating with others and make the things achieve. That is a multi-agent. That is an autonomous multi-agent. It's not like we have to wait for a human to get some confirmation given to go ahead and proceed. If the autonomous agents, which is going to work as a swarm of multi-agents, like one of our team members asked, how we want to enable multi-agent swarm connected with another swarm of multi-agents. That is a big challenge even we have, but the Lang-Smith and Lang graph is providing a solution like for achieving, but not to a complete extent. The True AI is also working on that. It's not a complete foolproof solution provided yet, but we can use that kind of solution to achieve it. That is one problem. That is one of the next generation technology towards the generative AI. And the second thing is bringing the sixth sense to the AI with the help of robotics. So implementing the physical AI, a physical agent is the next generation. And for that reason, we had recently have a tie-up with one of the robotics company, right, that you are aware of, like Astrid Robotics. That company, we are trying to simulate this agentic AI solution in the robots for taking us to the next level team. I just wanted to bring that also as a point over here since John asked this as a question. The AI applied on the robots, AI applied on the physical arms, physical agents. Rather than I say, hey, our agent, can you go and open the calculator? I'm going to say, can you take the calculator and do some calculation? I'm going to say, physically, can you do this by creating mechanical arms where our digital signal has to go to the mechanical arm to operate the servo motors in it, right? So that is the next level of the AI we are looking for in the future market. India is very much lagging in that, and we are trying to create a forerunning on that as a company.
So as a summary, what we can understand, the agents and then the robotics, so all those things will be the future of AI and swarm of agents, particularly to accomplish multitasks or something like that.
Exactly. And there is a huge spatial systems also where the agents or the AI is being used very heavily in the future. Like yes, these are the expectations. In addition to this, you have asked about like, how much need of the traditional, like our systems or knowledge is needed. Right? You were asking about like ML or deep learning or whatever those kind of model learning. How much is needed? Yes, programming. How much is needed for learning this AI solution and all. Nowadays, programming is not becoming a big hurdle for learning anything, right? And knowing about all the concepts of how the like a background framework works or how the background algorithm works, that is not a current need nowadays. If we know about that, well and good, we can go and maybe orchestrate the AI much better if we know how the AI works behind the scene. But still, we don't have much time to do that. So what we can do, at least we can go and understand how I can apply in my system, in my work, what I'm doing, as I was telling the initial answer, right? If you know how to, amalgamate the work, what you are doing currently, and apply that in the AI solutioning is the very important factor for consideration. Nowadays, this is a big consideration what we need to have.
Okay, so meaning I think the selection of the models and those things is going to be really matter. So we don't need to produce a model or a machine learning model that we don't need to do that. So we don't need to really worry more about the theorems and all that. So we can just like that consume and try different things to get better.
Exactly. Very simply saying like we don't have to reinvent the wheel, rather we have to reuse.
Yeah.
Right. Already the models are getting built. How to use the right model with the right accuracy, with the right performance. For example, we were showing an example of, we are using the same model, maybe Lemma 3.5 or whichever the model with 70 billion parameters or whichever, which could not be able to run in my local machine, but it can run in our rack, where it is producing a better accuracy, right? If you could not able to run it in the rack, because not everybody are going to own a rack, they can go and take some EC2 instance with the C5 grade or whichever, CX5 grade or whichever, and they can go and run it over there with for some period of time by spending some amount on it. So that's a kind of a thought process they have to get and make use of the systems more efficiently, the respective models more efficiently to get the outcome of whatever the business problem that they have. It's no more like how IT was going earlier. We can able to just take a kind of a leisure activities in IT, but nowadays it requires a more intelligent things has to be put forth because of the system is also evolving. We also have to parallelly evolve. If we stay behind the scene and do something, that is no more going to help us. That's where the people are facing the challenge in all these job cuts and other activities and all. So be aggressive, right? But be parallelly strategic to understand what has to be applied in what proportion, in what order for a right requirement. That is a very important requirement of what we have.
Now, generally when we surf this internet and all, people from different parts of IT industry domains, they have a question that because of this rising popularity of AI and also, will it affect my job role or will it affect this job role, that job role? So affecting a particular job role. So what can we do on that particular area, influencing a specific set of job roles?
Okay, I'll tell you one literal example here, right? If you go 40 years before, right, when the computation was started, when the things got digitalized, when the things got democratized itself in terms of the digital computers, right? What people were thinking, the official people who were using papers and pens and the files and the ledgers, they used to think like, hey, we may lose our job because of the computers are coming, it will replace the human. Right? That happened in fact to some very minimal population of people. Why? For whoever is not ready to adapt the computer. Hey, I don't know how to use the mouse and keyboard. I don't want to. I'm not showing interest on using this. Who were told that was the problem what they were facing? Those people were being really affected. But the people who are all ready to, okay, let me see how it is working, right? Let me go and understand and make use of the applications what some software company is going to give to me, were able to propagate it further. The similar things is applicable here also. One side, when we are getting the some of the regular jobs are rationalized. In the other side, we are getting a lot of openings created in this space, especially not in an AI space. Not everybody are going to become an AI engineer. Not everybody have to play a role of an AI analyst or an AI engineer or an AI architect. We have to go and play a role of AI data engineer, AI data analyst, AI BA engineer. Like this, we have a lot of roles are being opened.
So applying AI to different domains and contexts.
Exactly. That is applicable even in the other world also. Not only in IT, not only in IT world. That is true. But that's what I was initially telling. We have to know like how to use the proportionate of this AI in our work. We should not be hesitating to do that. Thinking like, hey, AI may eat my job if I can't implement this. If you implement this, there is another set of problem that AI is going to create. There is a lot of gray area in the AI even we have. Cost, security, performance, accuracy. These are all some of the factors. Still, AI is trying to get its maturity, right? So that and all we have to resolve it slowly. The company is adapting AI, but they are not able to spend that much money. So how we can use the AI more responsibly? How we can use the AI more optimally? How we can have the token cost reduced, right? These are all the factors we still have to consider.
Then thinking about leveraging for different domains, for example, data engineering domain, cloud infrastructure, support, production. How do they leverage all these things? Leveraging.
See, today example, whatever I was showing is more related to the role of a data governance personnel, production support personnel who do root cause analysis, the data governance personnel who do some sort of like data governance masking or classification, categorization of the data and all. The person who do the code review activity that the agent is doing, right? Even the person who do data quality check, testers, all the roles I have simulated and shown how the agents can do that. But it requires a human in loop also, right? To go with an approval process, to go with the next level of like, we can't use agent for every purpose. Agent can give a first level of outcome. Second level of outcome, we can't ask agent to go and analyze the entire data. It will give some input to us. We have to go and spend some time on making the system more proper. If we improve the system more better, it will go and pave a way for other system to get generated. That other system will be getting a new projects. It's a kind of a cyclic effort we are going to get. It's not like about we are going to just to say, okay, when I complete this project, it's going to get over. So, right? So why organizations are doing a job cut nowadays? For a reason of, one major reason is for what purpose, not really because of they started using AI. AI is replacing the human job. The very important reason is because of AI only they are cutting the job, but they are spending more money for AI. The budget is allocated more for AI than the human. So they have to show some outcome by saying with the AI, I'm going to make the human work as a co-work we are going to do. But this may get changed. This may get, like some of the companies you might have heard the news and all, right? They are reverting back to the human workers, not with the, because AI takes its own time for maturity, and the complete, the future of AI, maybe another 5-10 years it will take, even at least 5 years you can say, it will take for its autonomous behavior. We can't trust on the AI and give the entire work to do how we are giving to a human.
Okay.
Though human makes mistake, he know how to go and get it mitigated by extending his work. But AI requires a human to go and suggest him to mitigate it. Right? So that is altogether about it. And human knows the importance.
Okay, now as a personal thing, so being a developer, okay, so I want to try something, means I have to pay for the subscriptions and all that. So that's why we are trying this kind of initiative, so we can have this endpoints and we can connect and locally run all the open models. So for a normal common man who wants to try something, do they need to spend more money to learn all these things? Because as you said, right,
something.
Okay. So generally, for a common man who is willing to learn all these things, if he wants to get better performant AI-based systems, does he need to pay out of his pocket to get subscription access and all that, like GPT?
There are a lot of options are available, right? You can go to the like AI factories and all, and you can get the free subscription for some period of time with the tokens and all provided. But you can have your local service also running if you have a good computer. Or you have to go and spend money for getting some service like 1,500 rupees onwards. Google is offering Gemini services and all, right? Or you can go to the AI Studio and create a free API key, and you can use that API key by doing some programming.
Okay.
Right? Or you can use Gemini with some, the Pro edition and all is giving for 1,500 to 2,000 rupees per monthly cost. With that and all, you can explore a lot. You are getting an access to our AI Studio also. There you can go and do a lot of other activities, the video models and other models also you can.
Okay.
But see, if I have a willingness to do something, I have a way already available. That is there already. There.
So even the open models, something will perform well in this laptop hardware.
Yes, maybe some accuracy challenges will be there, like how we were facing for our client, right? We are facing an accuracy challenge when we start using Voluma service and all. But when we increase the server capacity, at least we were able to get a better outcome, right? The accuracy has been started improving, right? Great job.
I think if you guys have any questions, you can continue on. I did have 4 questions only.
Any more questions, team? Thanks for all your attendance, team, and waiting for this long to get the things covered. If you have any questions or any support related to this kind of AI or data engineering kind of requirement, right? You can very well reach to us. I know, like, not everybody of you guys are from our aspirant group, from our alumni group, right? Whoever is a non-alumni attending the session here, right? If you want to connect with us, feel free to connect with that WhatsApp group what we have with you, or you can feel free to connect with us in terms of through the mobile. We will share you post our session, right? You can very well feel free to connect with us. We have our data center created over here, our smart environments are all created over here. Very well, you can come and visit as well. To show some of our capabilities, what we built in the recent period of time. We are slowly bringing some robotic solution also in our experience center. Feel free to visit our experience center in Chennai when you wanted to connect with us. We are being available here. Myself, Gia, John, Basit and all is available to support you in the aspect of the technical side, or the aspect of career side. If you have any questions, you can very well reach to us. We are such a supportive environment, right? We are a professional environment over here.
You can try our endpoints and see.
Yeah, even if you want to try our endpoints, you can let us know. We will help you with our endpoints provided, right? Where you can go and connect and use some of our local models, what you have built even.
Right? As of now, it runs in the local infrastructure, but
yes,
come means they can test it.
Very well, you can make use of our environment to get those things also arrived, right? Or make use of. Right, Tim? Thank you. Thanks for all your presence and waiting till the last minute of our session, right? I would really appreciate it. And, like, don't get afraid of AI. Rather, you just try to position yourself how to meet the AI demand in the market going forward. That is very important. We are focusing more on AI today, right? It's not about AI focus. It's more about like how you can implement in your role the AI. That's a very important focus here, not on AI. A lot of people thinking like learning AI will resolve all their problem. No, not really. How to apply the AI in their work is going to resolve their problem. Okay, great team. Thank you so much. Reach out to us for any like questions that you have even further. Right? If you don't have any more questions, we can close our discussion by now.
So thank you so much for this session, sir. It's really informative and a lot of changes, lot of upgrades happened. So thank you so much for the insights, sir.
Great. Thank you, Aishwarya. It's Aishwarya, right?
Yes, sir. Weekend 45 batch.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Aishwarya. I can able to recognize your voice. Great,
Yes.
great. Aishwarya.
Definitely, I'm planning to come and meet in person, sir. Definitely will come and meet you in center, sir. Thank you. Thank you all.
Sure. You guys are always welcome. And then we are being here to support you guys, right? Yeah. Thank you so much, team. If you have any more questions, go ahead. Otherwise, we'll close. Nice to see you all after some time, and I hope you guys also felt the same, right? Seeing
Yes, sir.
me after some long time.
Definitely, sir. Weekend sessions, we used to sit, interact a lot of time, and it's happening same. So happy for that, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Sure. Great team. Great. I will share you some of these tools and the components and all for you to just go through. Please make use of it. Okay. Yes, Chetan, you can ping me. We will discuss. Like when I'll be available, we can connect. Okay. Thank you, team. Otherwise, have a good
Hello.
career and the growth ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello, it's not.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Shravani.
Yeah, Shravani.
So are we getting any training from Incepts regarding these concepts, whatever we covered?
Yes, we are providing training service as one of our major activity. Like all our aspirants you have seen, right? Those are all our alumni who learned and who got transformed and who is looking for some transformation in this core technologies of data engineering, cloud, DevOps, and then AI engineering and all. We are very much advanced in this technology. Like you are seeing, right? We are implementing as well. We are not just only providing the training. So our
Yes.
transformation is going to be like this, like how I have provided you today.
Okay.
Maybe a week ago we started a batch, right? Maybe if you have any question on that, you can reach out to us in that WhatsApp group. Even we can help you with the content and other information about what you.
Okay, that's what
We
I
can
want.
even
The
connect you
training details. I want the training details, Irfan, so that I can take a decision regarding that one.
Okay.
Can I get the training details regarding the timing?
Yeah. I will share that in our group. Maybe you can go through that and you can reach to us for having the discussion on how it is going to happen on what time and other things and all. Maybe other commercials and all.
Okay.
See, our training is going to be like this one always. Okay, you are finding how many of our aspirants are. I mean, couple of our aspirants who known us like are also attending this in two different meetings that we have scheduled, right?
Yes.
So maybe like you may not be knowing us directly, right? You came through some sort of other reference, right?
No, Irfan, we both worked in Verizon. You remember me? I was
Sorry,
working
what is
from
that?
Hyderabad. No, we both worked in Verizon, right?
Oh, got you.
Verizon.
Okay,
I'm from
okay,
Hyderabad.
got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Then
have
reach me
your
out, right? You
contact.
have my number, right? We will
Yeah.
discuss.
Okay, I'll message you, Irfan, then.
So
Sure.
nice to hear from you after a long time.
Yeah, I saw your status messages and I attended this session.
Okay, got you. Great. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
reach me out. Okay, we'll discuss.
Okay, I'll ping you on WhatsApp.
Ping me,
Irfan.
ping me. We'll
Yeah.
discuss. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
It's a very long time, right?
Yeah. Almost for 10 years
Able
plus.
to recall. Yes.
Yeah.
Great song. Yeah. So, Poo, when the run, you can reach me out in our WhatsApp number. I can provide you, right? Maybe this number. You can take a note of this number and you can reach me out. I'll help you on the maybe like other information if you need, right? Then you can make a decision, right?
Okay, can I contact, WhatsApp you directly? I have your number, right? Or
Yeah, you can contact me directly in the WhatsApp, Shravani.
okay, sure. I'll ping you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Myself and Shravani were working 10 years ago in projects in our organization. Great, great. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you are with Verizon or you moved to another organization?
Yes. Now I am in a different organization. Maybe
Oh.
I will not tell the name of the organization.
No problem.
for
No
future.
problem. I
You know
understand.
that, right? That's the
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great,
Okay.
great.
Fine. Yeah.
Great.
Thanks.
We'll connect. Yeah.
Ah,
Ping me,
sure.
we'll make sure. Okay.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Great stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Anybody else team? Any more questions? Okay. Otherwise, have a good day, week, and years ahead. Right? Progress better days. Thank you all. I'm closing the session. Nice to meet you all after a long time. Right? You guys can expect such kind of connects even in a later point of time also. Feel free to connect over there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sridhar and team. Bye guys. I'm closing the session.